Okay, okay. All right, I'm done injecting my daily shots of adrenochrome. I'm here. Hello. Sorry, Hillary Clinton was late, so the whole thing got pushed back and whew, howdy. How y'all doing? What a bitch, by the way. Honestly. What a very inconsiderate about other people's time. Feeling good, Vosh? Yeah, my tooth feels good. The root canal tooth feels pretty good, you know? I mean, it feels just a little weird when I eat with it, but still pretty darn good. Um, can we watch this? Let's find out. A 30-minute video released a year and a half ago from Vice News that'll get me copyright striked. No. But you can watch it if you want to. Oh, speaking of copyright strikes, some information, by the way. Unfortunately, my 1350 video, the video on 1350, the explaining the disparate crime rates between black and white Americans and its sociological roots, has been taken down by YouTube for hate speech, which means there are two possible explanations. One of them is that Nazis or whatever saw the video and they got ultra ass pained that I blew out their reductionist genetic arguments, and they reported it because its name, the title 1350 explained, kind of. I mean, you could, if you reported that, I can understand some like Google tech looking over it briefly and thinking like, oh, okay, this is a bit racist. The alternative is that it got caught up in the algorithm, along with a bunch of other Nazi purges. I've made an appeal. I'm sure the video will go up again soon, because it's a very anti-racist video. Yeah, this is literally 1984. Very true. Very true. Very Orwellian. You gonna cover Charlie Kirk today? It feels like it'd be a good day to do it, wouldn't it? This you? What is this? Wait, what? R. Vosh? Gloria fucker. I want to fuck Gloria so bad. Okay. I mean, yeah, who doesn't, right? This isn't even my subreddit. My subreddit is Vosh V. Did they wait, did this actually get posted or was this photoshopped? I don't know. I don't care. Good memes. That's good Reddit though. That's a good Reddit post. That's a fat badonkadonk right there. Do you think the impeachment will actually go through? Oh yeah! Guys! Donald Trump is being impeached again. Can you fucking believe it? I can. We'll talk about that shortly. We actually, as always, have a lot to talk about. If I seem a little bit groggy, it's because I stayed up way too late last night. This is so dumb. This is such a lay epic Reddit moment. I was supposed to go to bed, but then a contrived series of internet searches led me to start reading that book written by Randall Monroe. The guy who did the XKCD comic, How To, or something like that. I don't know, it was a cute book. It's like, how do you fly? And it's a bunch of stupid physics answers. I don't know, it's cute. But I read it for too long. Yeah, is Donald Trump, oh, what if, thank you. Is Donald Trump the first president to be impeached twice? Is that true? Donald Trump breaking records. The first Orange American to make it to the presidency. Lay SNL joke moment. The first president to be double impeached. And to my knowledge, the first president to ever be caught in 4K begging a Georgia state elector for like 20,000 votes so he can be the president. I fucking hate this country, dude. I really do. Oh, speaking of hating this country, 11,780, thank you. Speaking of hating this country, I think I might have a debate or a conversation secured with one of the people trying to make it worse. I don't want to spare any details right now. I'll just vague post like a cunt, because sparing details um, uh, jinxes it. Not like a politician, you fucking idiots. No, just one of the major YouTubers who are spreading this shit. So we'll see if that happens. That'd be a fun conversation. You know, my big disappointment is that I haven't actually gotten the opportunity to have that conversation about whether or not it was actually a fraud, like whether or not the election was actually stolen. Which is really disappointing. For all the time that I spent familiarizing myself with those arguments and going over all the irrationality and so on and so forth, yeah, you all have some insanely high expectations. What the fuck is wrong with you people? For all the time that I spent looking that stuff up, I never actually got to debate it. Dude, debates on YouTube are so fucking dead. They're not happening anymore. It feels like all the debates that are happening these days are done on fucking, like, panel show circuits where people go in there knowing what to expect. But the actual, like, getting up there and just challenging another person, like, it doesn't happen much anymore. I don't know. The right's afraid. Or, more likely, the right has grown more insular. A charitable way of interpreting this is that the conservatives have recognized that they're getting worse at reaching out to new people. Or maybe just that debates aren't the best way to do it anymore. That they realize that, like, now that they've adopted positions that are fucking insane, debate is not a good way of convincing people anymore. Like, so if you're, say you're like a skeptic on the right or whatever, and you want to convince as many people as possible to move over to the right, and your positions are like anti-SJW, blue-haired feminist, blah, blah. If those are your positions, assuming your opponents aren't that rhetorically skilled, you can do a decent job in a debate if you know how to, like, throw out the anecdotes and, like, frame the issue appropriately. But now that, like, the right has bit the bullet on full-on anti-democracy, pro-insurrection, like, fascism, it's really difficult to defend these positions in a live debate. So I think they realize that, and now they have to retreat to their only avenue for conversation, being, like, circle jerky podcasts and like bite-sized videos where every day you get, like, every day these conservatives, they wake up and they check their, like, 7 or 8 YouTube channels that all put out their versions of the same video. Every one of these channels puts out the same 1984 Trump supporters, the new Jews in Nazi Germany, and it's like a 10-minute and 1-second video. They watch all of them from all of the different people, and it's the same video from all of them. And then they get their daily dose of fear, because conservatives need to be afraid. It's very important to them. It's emotionally essential. And then they like have it for the day, you know? And that's how they consume that media. Why does Destiny think Hal Kalinske more idiotic? Why are you asking me what Destiny thinks? Go in his chat and ask him. Are you banned from his chat? Go to his YouTube chat. Shitpost. I don't know. Yeah, we'll talk about Parler in a second. Your hair looks nice? Thanks, I'm just out of the shower. This guy seems to be attracting a lot of fascies. YouTube.com/users Academy of Ideas. Why are so many men psychologically infantile? Academy of Ideas. I love... This is one of my favorite genres of crazy fucking rightoid content, okay? It is the ode to the philosopher king, okay? You know that look at this motherfucker. This motherfucker crosses their O's. They cross their O's. You're only supposed to cross zeros, you stupid piece of shit. You know these people with their marble statues and their fucking bold text superimposed over Renaissance paintings think that they're the fucking advent of the revival of Western tradition. Do we live in a sick society? The psychology of heroism, using a second self to promote self-transformation. Now, in a vacuum, videos like these can be fine. I have probably made a video with a title similar to Do We Live in a Sick Society? But then you have How to Thrive in the Battle of Life. Why are so many men... Oh, here's Jung. Isn't Jungian philosophy or psychology, isn't that Jordan Peterson's thing? Isn't that a Scandinavian O? I don't care. Scandinavians are pretentious. And you guys know that, right? You do realize we didn't need we don't need that, okay? Like, it wasn't necessary for them to exist. What does this look like? Support the spread of life-promoting ideas. Okay. Sorry, I'm getting distracted right now. I just want to look at this, and then we'll talk about Parler, okay? Hold on. Come on, come on.
A man can't go out the way he came in. A man has got to add up to something.
Oh god, even sounds like Jordan Peterson.
In our previous series on Carl Jung and the man-child, we looked at why the phenomenon of the man-child is so prevalent in our times. We argued that due to the demise of the traditional family and an absence of rites of initiation, many boys lack male role models to show them the way to manhood. And
oh god, this is just Jordan Peterson. Wait.
They are emerging into adulthood stuck in what the authors Robert Moore and Douglas Gillette called boy psychology. In this series, we are going to provide a guide for how to outgrow boy psychology and attain manhood. To do this, we are going to look away from
and attain manhood in like a Renaissance painting. Oh god.
Contemporary Western culture, which is overwhelmed by ideas which view masculinity as toxic, and approach the topic of manhood from an anthropological
which view masculinity as toxic. I know, except this is literally just a Jordan Peterson wannabe. This is, oh god.
Point of view. Drawing from David Gilmour's classic book, Manhood in the Making, we will examine what differing cultures across the world have thought regarding the question, what does it mean to be a man? The purpose of this—
I love this shit, by the way. By the way, you know that nobody has any fucking idea what masculinity is or should be when their best depiction of masculinity is fucking hunter-gatherer societies hunting down wildebeests, okay? If you think, what is a man? And your response is so fucking, like, primal and animalistic and simplistic and reductionist as, what when we threw a spear to hunt the big bison? Like, you have no fucking idea what you're talking about. You're utterly incapable of dealing with the complex, like, sociological reality of gender in the modern era, okay? Like, it's, like, you know what I mean? It would be like, I'm trying to think of something, like, as fundamentally fucking stupid as this. It would be like, what is the essence of... No, I actually can't think of anything comparable to this. I don't know. It's like, this is about as stupid as it gets. What is the essence of being a man? Being a man is hunting lions. Okay, well, what the fuck does that mean? Nobody hunts lions anymore. What the fuck are you talking about? Okay, there are some people in chat saying that Jungian psychology is based or epic or whatever. I don't care. I don't know anything about Jungian psychology. What's your opinion on anarcho-primitivism? It's not cool, okay? There are ways to make modern society human.
This examination will be to isolate the traits, virtues, and attitudes essential to manhood, thereby creating a map of manhood we can use to outgrow our boy psychology and achieve the benefits which, cross-culturally, are the prerogative of the potent man. In the present...
Wait, is this real? Hold on, I'm sorry.
You treat me like a black person!
Oh wait, apparently this video is from 2018. Okay, never mind. True though. Dude, the funny thing is that's horseshoe theory. You don't actually know if that's from a right-leaning person or a left-leaning person. That could be because you could imagine like a leftist shit poster saying something like that at a rally right now. Like if they're white and like they're getting muscled by the cops, so they're like, "Well, I'm white, bro," but you don't actually know if that's a descriptive or prescriptive claim, you know? But generally speaking, I think if somebody says that, they're probably a racist.
Present crisis of masculinity, we do not need, as some feminists are saying, less masculine power. We need more, but we need more of the mature masculine. We need more man psychology. We need to develop a sense of calmness.
Wait, hold on. Vosh, Academy of Ideas gives extremely good lectures on philosophy. He's never stated or hinted that he personally subscribes to any of the philosophies he speaks about, merely teaches them. Please don't lump him in with dipshits like Jordan Peterson. Listen, I'm sorry, dude. I haven't like seen much of this guy's channel, but so far this video literally seems like somebody trying to capitalize on Jordan Peterson's fucking brain trauma. So he's trying to make content in the meantime, you know? This literally just reads like a Jordan Peterson video. So there's nothing wrong with presenting different philosophical ideas, and there's nothing wrong with sampling from different philosophers and psychiatrists to try to understand these issues. The problem is, well, you know what? I don't even need to make this argument. Let's take a look at the YouTube comments. After all, I'm a consequentialist. I don't actually care what the video is. I care what it inspires in its audience. And when the world needed him most, he returned. Who is this referring to? Oh, is this about... Oh, I was hoping this might be about Jordan Peterson, because he recently came back. Being male is a matter of birth, being a man is a matter of choice. I was so hoping that'd be about Jordan Peterson. That would have proved my point so effectively. This conversation is so much better than the social media war between men and women. Okay, this isn't as bad as I thought it would be. All right, my cynicism, my black pill is being melted away by the harsh fires of reality. Okay, this is mostly like individual exceptionalist jerking off. It's not like, I'm not gonna lie, I expected to scroll down and see stuff about how women can't wear makeup because they're like prompting people around them to rape them or something like that. I don't know. One more minute and then we're done.
About
One more minute,
masculine
then we're
power,
done.
so we don't have to act out dominating, disempowering behavior toward others. On the other hand, is not defined by the presence of physical characteristics alone. It must be achieved. The Aboriginal Fox tribe of Iowa call the attainment of manhood the big impossible, which only the masterful few can attain. Unlike biological sex, manhood is not a given but a prize to be won. As the 20th century American author Norman Mailer wrote, "Nobody was born a man. You earned manhood provided you were good enough, bold enough." Or as David Gilmour explains, there is a constantly recurring notion that real manhood is different from anatomical maleness.
This seems really okay. So the issue with this is that we're fundamentally describing maturity, right? I don't know why these characteristics have to be essentialized in like a gendered way. When we talk about so when I think about the difference between like a boy and a man, like this can mean like 87 different things, okay? Do you mean like pre or post-pubescent? Most people don't mean it that way because like 16-year-olds are technically post-pubescent, but nobody calls them men, or I guess I certainly wouldn't. Usually when we talk about boy versus man, we talk about maturity. But I think the characteristics for maturity are gender neutral. Like, I don't know. Maybe this is my cucked like lib brain or something like that. But when I think of what makes a person mature, I think about the ability to take responsibility for your own decisions. I think about like long-term planning, like being able to delay gratification. I think about like it sounds like a really dumb term, like Sargon-esque, but honor to an extent. Like the having like a personal code of ethics that you adhere to, even if it's not immediately beneficial to you, you know? I know it sounds dumb, but like it's actually really, really important. I think it's important to have like a set of strong convictions that you hold to. Even if I don't agree with all of them, they don't have to be mutually exclusive. Maybe some person's like really strong set of convictions is family. And even though that may not necessarily be mine, I still like, I respect that. And I think it's good to be principled in that way, especially because principles, like in a very uncertain world, I think that principles can be a very comforting thing in difficult times. But I think these are gender neutral. I don't think this is about being a man or a woman. I just think it's about being an adult, you know? There are a lot of immature people who are like adults, you know? One of the big memes, everybody has this story, but it's still true. One of the big memes about growing up is when you realize that adults don't know what they're doing. Everyone has that moment. I don't know if you're 8 when you realize it, or 10 or 12, but everyone has that moment where they realize adults have no fucking idea what they're doing either. And that there's no like line you cross between being a child and being an adult, where suddenly you like have a grip on what's going on at all points in your life. You're always kind of stumbling through it, you know? The expectation of meaning and understanding is largely projected from society. The idea of the adult, this archetypical, powerful character that knows where they're going in life, this is largely a myth. In reality, most people are fairly aimless, and life is a constant struggle against forces you can't fully understand or cope with. And then dealing with that is how you become mature, you know. But a lot of people lie to themselves, and they lie to the people around them, and they try to assert the idea, the very, very incorrect idea, that they are in control. And that, to me, is immaturity. If you're one of those people who constantly projects this visage of like total control over your life, I think that's a coping mechanism for dealing with the opposite. You know what I mean? It's like you can't deal with the you know, the uncontrollable nature of life, so you have to project that stuff. I see that a lot from wannabe fucking Jordan Peterson, wannabe hypermasculine, you know, philosophical warrior king male dipshits. This tendency to compensate for personal insecurities by diving really fucking hard into adopting some kind of like foundational understanding of masculinity, no matter how delusional it may be. All right, we've had our fun. We had our fun. Does this remind you of the spirit science video you watched with the boy and the girl stuff? No, the spirit science video is a whole other type of crazy. Have I seen Don't Walk, Don't Run production? Yeah, I've seen Don't Walk, Don't Run. I just don't cover videos that are past a certain length. I think I covered one video from them. But I don't know if Yeah, we'll talk about the impeachment. Oh god, we have so much to talk about. All right, people. That's oh god. Will you upload this segment? No, just listen. That's why you guys want to watch me live. It's so you can catch all that shit that doesn't get uploaded otherwise. All right? That's the magic. Okay, one last thing. Would you accept that these guys are tapping into real concerns regarding masculinity and maleness, even though they're misdiagnosing the hell of them? Yeah, there's like a very legitimate problem right now in society where people have no fucking idea what men are supposed to be. We have narratives about what an empowered woman is like. We don't have that for what men is like. Or, I'm sorry, we don't have a healthy idea of what an empowered man is like. An empowered woman, in like the archetypical, like modern, feminist, progressive standard, is a person with a lot of autonomy and control over whether they want to balance their career or their, you know, their family life, and they're sexually empowered and they have a vibrator and blah, blah. And there's a lot of variance there. But for the empowered man is a story that goes back thousands of years. And whether you guys like it or not, when most people think of the characteristics associated with empowered man, we don't think of like somebody who's very good to the world. We usually think of an extremely domineering, arrogant person with very little consideration for the people around them. That's why if you take a look at like MGTOW or like pickup artist literature, the empowered man usually isn't like an actualized comprehensive, you know, considerate person. It's usually like a domineering asshole who takes advantage of the people around them. So men are kind of caught in this thing where like there are certain parts of society that are telling them to be like very strong, unempathetic, don't share your feelings, never cry, you know, be terrible to the people around you because it expresses dominance. And then you have like the feminist narrative, which is don't do all those things, but there isn't like an alternative narrative being presented. And it doesn't help that right now, like anytime you're ever not horrible to women online, you get called a simp or whatever. So like you're getting pulled in a lot of directions. There are 12-year-old boys right now, you know, like the archetypical like leafy fan base who like wake up every single day and like tell themselves that if they're too nice to a woman that day, that it like compromises their masculinity in some way. That's a real thing. Like that's a real thing that a lot of young people, a lot of young guys think. So there's a big war going on here. But we'll work through it eventually. There are better role models for men that are being presented in media. That's usually the solution to this stuff. Empowered man is femboy. Well, sure. Okay, are you guys ready for the F pill? Are you guys ready for it? If you guys want to actually promote more diversity in presentation for men and like more like a broader understanding of masculinity, you have to stop sexualizing femboys. You actually have to. You know how there are butch women out there, and it's not just a like kink. They're just butch women, and they exist, and they just look butch, and it's not a fucking like fetish or whatever. They just exist. Femboys are exclusively fetishized. When you see femboys out and about, any feminine presenting guy, this is exclusively regarded in a sexual context. This is completely 100% true. The only place you see femboys ever is in the context of their fetishization. If you see a person walking down the street and they're like a femboy, whatever, like they have like a choker and like, I don't know, what, just imagine a femboy. The connotation there is sexual. And the problem with that is that it makes it like not a matter of general presentation. It just makes it like a sexual expression, which isn't what we do to butch women. So I don't know if that's necessarily a good idea. Anyway, I mean, I'm just just saying that's true. Watching, I want to be sexualized. That's cool. That doesn't mean that every single person who is a guy who dresses feminine has to be sexualized by default. Okay. If you want to, you can wear a sandwich board over your chest saying, please sexualize me. You can do that. Just don't do it. Don't do it in public, okay? There are kids and it get weird. Is there a way to keep femboys without fetishization? Just let men dress feminine. And like it could just be a thing that they do. You can fetishize them in porn, if you're drawing like femboy porn or whatever, then it's fucking porn. You can fetishize them. But like in day-to-day life, it's exclusionary to men who might otherwise want to present feminine if the only context in which they're able to do so is one which is regarded as sexual. Does that make sense? Like, I don't know how this should be controversial. Like, I know for a fact that if people only thought of like butch women as like a sexual fetish, you guys would know that was a problem, right? So I know you know. I trust you guys, all right? I trust you guys. I know. I know. You know, I know. I know, you know, I know. We get it. Femininity sexualized more masculinity anyways. Well, yeah, of course. You know what I'm talking about. You know. No, we don't. We're misogynist. True. Based and misogyny pilled. You guys know the real take. The what is it? Trans inclusionary radical misogyny. I've talked about this before, but like a lot of don't cancel me. A lot of trans women actually don't mind misogyny directed against them quite as much because it's validating to their fucking gender identity. So you see this all the time in queer circles, by the way, where like being like, fuck it, I listen, I hate trans women because they're women. Why the fuck? Women? Disgusting. Like doing that, like there's yeah, I know you people know what I'm talking about. Because it's like validating and you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. You know what I mean. Yeah. Imagine being a woman. Whew. Yikes. Didn't ContraPoints have a video on that? Most of my hot takes about gender and sexuality were expressed better in a ContraPoints video, okay? Listen. ContraPoints does good work. Stop wasting time. The world is moving on. Let's talk, okay? Okay, people. Who here made a Parler account? Like, at any point. Who here made a Parler account? At least a couple of you did. No, wow, surprisingly few people. You know, probably a good thing that you didn't, or at least it wouldn't really matter that much. Parler, for all their talk of free speech, you know what Parler does? Parler bans leftists. Parler bans lefties. Like, they'll just ban you if you're left-leaning on the platform. For all their talk about free speech. You know, it's funny, they bitch and moan about Twitter being pro-censorship, and Twitter has to wait until you try to instigate a fucking coup against the Capitol to even consider doing bans. But Parler, just if you're left-leaning, they just kapoop. Anyway, Parler, great site, I'm sure, has been fucked. Has been giga-fucked, as a matter of fact. Amazon, Apple, and Google cut off Parler, an app that drew Trump supporters. The company pulled support for the quote-unquote free speech social network, all but killing the service just as many conservatives are seeking alternatives to Facebook and Twitter. So here's the issue, folks. I've talked about it before, but I'm going to talk about it even more. The main issue is that conservatives are like a different type of person. See, normal people can be on Twitter, and they can be on Facebook, and they can have their fun, you know, they have a lot of fun. The issue is, those big tech media sites, Twitter and stuff, they discriminate against conservatives. Not really, of course. They discriminate against racism, sexism, harassment, and the like. But conservatives love doing those things. So it's kind of, you know, it's like, it'd be like if they also like, well, I was about to say they ban pedophile accounts or whatever, but Twitter has like a fuck ton of like far-right Nazi lolly accounts. So I guess they don't actually do that. Probably should get rid of those, but whatever the case may be, because conservatives keep stepping on landmines they're not even landmines. Conservatives keep stepping on munitions laid openly on the ground, painted yellow, to discourage people from stepping on them. And now a lot of them are over on Parler, and then Parler ended up being a hive for far-right insurrectionary tendencies. Now, I want to be clear about something, okay? There were a lot of people who are making it sound as though Parler has gotten hit with the censorship hammer because it's conservative. Again, that's not true. As always is the case, it's getting hit with the censorship hammer because people were just openly talking about murdering politicians on there. Just openly, plainly, massive figures too, not like little people. Lynn Wood is apparently being investigated by the Secret Service. That's Kyle Rittenhouse's lawyer, grade A lunatic, for kind of implicitly threatening to kill Mike Pence, you know, or sort of inciting violence against Mike Pence, because they're under the impression Mike Pence had the ability to ignore the elector results, which is not true. That is sorry, when I say implicit, I mean it's pretty explicit, okay? It was pretty fucking open. Anyway, Parler has turned into this absolute breeding ground for not just insurrectionary tendencies, but essentially just death threats, which I mean, that's not even illegal. Like, I'm sorry, that's not even legal. Like, if you're making death threats against politicians, you could be arrested for that. So we're past TOS territory and now into like, this place is a breeding ground for illegality. So it's really not surprising that the following would happen. Google Play took Parler off their app store. Apple took Parler off their app store, meaning that at least on an iPhone, I don't know the way like Androids or Google phones work, but I know that on an iPhone, you can only get apps that are on the app store unless you're willing to go through some incredibly convoluted bullshit. So taking that off essentially cuts off like a huge portion of the potential user base of that website. And then Amazon, which controlled the servers that Parler was being hosted on, pulled the plug. So as of right now, Parler is kaput. Parler it doesn't exist. Does not exist. You can sideload an Android. I'm sure because of how controlling Apple is of their IP, I'm sure they're more stringent with this than Android is. But whatever the case may be. By the way, the majority of the people who use Parler are boomers. They're not going to know how to do any fucky shit with Androids to get it on, okay? Let's be real here. Now, Amazon cut them off, and they're kind of floating dead right now. Parler has sued Amazon after, quote, tech giant kicks site off its servers, which is wonderful. Lawsuit seeks order to prevent Amazon from shutting down social media platforms' account. Now, I'm not a lawyer, and I don't know the specifics of this case, but I think, in my personal opinion, no shot, bucko. No shot. No shot. I don't think they have any legal grounds to contest this decision. I don't like at all. I don't think they have any legal grounds. I don't think it's going to happen. So Parler's going to have to find some other service to host them, but considering the fact that they're essentially a hive mind of illegality, I don't know how well they're going to do that given all the shit that's going on. And fuck you, Wall Street Journal. You're not getting my subscription, and I don't care when people tell me how to get around these paywalls. Anyway, the real funny thing to happen at all this, as people can't stop posting in chat, even though you know I already saw it. Why would you think I haven't seen it? It's everywhere, all over the news, and you've linked it in chat like 20,000 fucking times since I started stream today. Parler's info has been leaked. Now, when I say info has been leaked, I feel like I'm not being, I'm not fully capturing the gravity of this, okay? Security experts, essentially, I'm not a tech guru, hacked into Parler and used admin status to get essentially all back-end information that was ever on Parler. Parler, where you have to give your fucking driver's license to get verified. Parler, which does not delete messages, but rather makes them invisible and therefore accessible by admins. Yep, lefty, and it was lefties, by the way. Lefty security experts have acquired 80 terabytes. Fuck you. Of posts, videos, and other data, sorry, including stuff like location and just everything, all info. So I'm really glad I never made a Parler account. Yeah, that's a lot of child porn that conservatives like to post. Anyway, yeah, they got a lot. Holy fuck, 80 terabytes. Yeah, not people's faces, like full on. Oh, they didn't use their admin accounts? I don't know. There was already information out there about Parler's like lack of security. Wasn't there already a security leak from Parler? Like there was a really poorly constructed site. This happens every single time conservatives get a hold of something. They have no fucking idea how to. Remember all of the like anti-SJW like Kickstarters, and then they ran with the money. You know, like I feel like this happens so often. They're so desperate to make a conservative product. They're so desperate to make an alternative that they just run out there and they don't give a fuck about how it's executed. And now it looks like the shoddy construction of Parler could end up biting them in the face. I imagine this 80 terabytes of data contains a lot of potential illegal content. And I'm not just saying like child porn or whatever like that. I mean like people posting their faces and locations as they do something insurrectionary, or they dates and times, and a lot of really interesting stuff. There are a lot of lefties who are saying that this is a bad thing to have all this information, that like giving this over to the feds or whatever, or that making this information public is bad or something. To which I have to ask you, what do you think anti-fascist action is? What do you think? What do you think anti-fascist action is exactly? Like what? I think a lot of people legitimately think that like anti-fascist action is like fighting people and like that's it. Like what are you talking about? Parler is a shit site filled with shit people, okay? Oh, wait, I'm sorry, I need to clarify. I completely disavow everything that's happening, all the hack leak, whatever. But like, in reality, uh, this is a fuck around, find out situation. You fuck around by making a website with no fucking security, and you find out by having all the archives leaked. That is the fuck around, find out situation right now. So whatever, I don't know what's going to happen to this data. I'm not involved in any of this because I don't know anything about technology. I don't even know the specifics of this data leak. All I know is that Parler is an absolute fucking shit show. Just a massive fucking shit show. That from day one, it pledged to be anti-censorship, but was more aggressively, censoring leftists than Twitter had ever done with conservatives. That they ended up getting nuked because they had no interest in moderating their own content. It's funny because the reason why they got taken off the Apple Store and the Google Play Store was because they had all that violent content on there. But Parler's response was that they were going to try to hire volunteers to clean it up a little. That doesn't work when your largest accounts are openly posting like violent intent. When Lynn Wood is getting like millions of views on what's it, Parler tweet up what is a post, a Pete, yeah, a Pete talking about like killing Mike Pence. Like this is not an issue. A parlay? Wait, is it really called a parlay? That is the most pretentious, stupid fucking thing I have ever heard in my life. A parlay? Really? Oh, I was just reading this parlay from Lynn Wood. Are you fucking kidding me? Okay. Well. Okay. Anyway, do you want somebody to explain the specifics from a tech perspective? No, I'm okay just believing tech is magic. That's fine, thank you. Sure, parlay. The French for verb parlay means to speak. I don't care. It's French. Also, why would a conservative platform ever use French? Okay. It's been a shit show from day one. I don't know if they're going to get any pickups from any other ISPs or any other like data servers would be willing to host them. I do know that this lawsuit is fucking doomed. And I do know, by the way, that ultimately the project of making right-leaning alternatives to major social media is not going to work. It's not going to work. It will never work, ever. It'll never work. It's not possible. These conservative alternatives will never function. Do you know why? Conservatives are insufferable, brain-dead fucking sociopaths. Like, why would they want to be in their own company? The reason why conservatives like spending time on Twitter is because their relentless shitposting agitates left-leaning people, or just decent people in general. I've seen posts from people who are like lamenting Parler and Gab and stuff like that. The only reason that it's a nice echo chamber, but at the end of the day, like humans need interaction with like other real people. And you're not going to get that from like a political circle jerk zone. It's just not going to happen. The reason, like, do you think why would Nazis ever want to spend time on a Nazi platform? Like, what's the point of being a Nazi if you can't like harass Jewish people on Twitter? That's what they do. They're like low IQ, low empathy people. They need the dopamine hits they get from harassing minorities. Like they don't want to be in their own little zone. Now people are going to Gab. Yes, now Gab is having its own thing. Except, didn't Gab get taken down before and then some other thing happened? The Gab has been all over the place as well. Gab is back now? Yeah, that's what I've heard. If I remember correctly, didn't Gab ban all pornography? Yeah, it's controlled by some like Christian conservative. So Gab banned all pornography. I think Parler did as well, which is another reason why it's not going to be like a viable long-term platform because Nazis are the biggest degenerates around. And if you've ever gone on any of the porn boards on 4chan, you will find an astonishing overlap between racism and a desire to see white women get fucking plowed by colossal black dick. This is just not a sustainable model for holding people's interest, you know? They make alts when they go on the regular sites. Well, then the regular sites are never going to die, ever. Twitter and Reddit and Facebook, they just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. These alternative platforms aren't going to function. They're going to continue to be miserable failures. If your problem is with the hegemony of big tech, the solution to this is not to form politically radical offshoots. It's never been a solution. The way the far right grew on the internet is because nobody hacked Parler. Okay, the information was publicly available. Okay, I don't care about the technical details. This isn't a legal consult on the specifics of how it happened. It was a remarkably bad website design, no matter what. The Donald.win just openly posted their IPs in case they get shut down. Wait, what? Okay, I don't know. Look, they're all boomers. I don't know. I can't. These fucking people. Look, can we just agree on one thing? Okay, can we just agree on like one simple thing? The conservatives leaving mainstream social media platforms to go join like alternative conservative offshoots is as pathetic as those guys who claim they're gonna like be no fat Volcel for the rest of their lives and keep shamefully posting updates on the respective subreddits every 6 days when they fucking lose faith and blow a nut. Okay, that's what these people are. Okay, they commit, but then they fail again and they come back, and these people always come back. Numbers aren't dropping on Twitter, numbers aren't dropping on Facebook. Recently, a bunch of far-right people on Twitter lost a bunch of followers, but that's because a bunch of Nazis and bots ended up getting purged, and those are the types that follow them, so, you know. They're all going to Mew and Rumble, whatever those are. Yeah, as a general rule, if I don't know what a social media platform is, if I don't recognize its name, I probably don't care about it that much. General rule. Mew, yeah. What the fuck is this? Hold on. Why is my subreddit shit-talking me? Whenever Vosh talks about music, anime, or video game mechanics. Oops, all bad take. What is wrong with you people? My takes are dope as fuck. What the fuck are you talking about? See, we've got a lot of Skyrim and Pokemon fans in the audience. I'm fucking 12-year-old. Jesus Christ. What? Okay, wait. Unironically, I am triggered about something. Why do people say I have bad music takes? I don't have any music takes. Every time music comes up, I say, yeah, I just listen to video game and anime OSTs. I get it. Like, I don't have takes. That's just what I do. That's not a take. For me to say that I do something, that's not a take. A take is when you're expressing like an opinion on something. I'm just describing what I am. If you say I have bad music taste, that's fine. But there are people in this comment thread that are saying that I have bad takes. Look, I don't care. This is the top comment. I don't care about his video game takes, which are sometimes god-awful. Wrong. Or his anime. It's his music takes that get me. Only listening to OST cringe. I don't have music takes. I don't give music. I have never in the history of my channel ever made a prescriptive comment about music. I have never done that. I know that I have incredibly limited musical taste, so I stay out of my fucking arena, okay? I have never done that. Now, I do make plenty of takes on video games and anime, because I consume plenty of that media, but still. What are his bad anime takes? He said ReZero was garbage. I once think he said JoJo Part 5 isn't good. When the fuck did I ever say JoJo Part 5 isn't good? I just said that I liked 4 more. What the fuck are you people talking about? Arguably, I'd say his takes are hipster, which are the worst takes of all. New Vegas and Dark Souls were pretty much cult hits before they became mainstream successes. No, Dark Souls and New Vegas both were bops the moment they came out. Demon Souls was the fucking cult hit, okay? Dark Souls was pretty popular as soon as it came out. And even Demon Souls got Game of the fucking Year back in whatever year it came out of. But Skyrim and Pokemon have always been popular, which I know is why Vosh doesn't like them. Fuck you, dude. The only reason I don't like Skyrim and Pokemon is because they're popular. I described why for like 20 fucking minutes. Fuck you. People can have a reason to dislike a big game series. Vosh hasn't given any reason for not liking it. Okay, fuck. You people don't watch my content. You're all fake fans. Fake fans! Fake fans. Also, his take on Mass Effect was so stupid, dude. Holy shit. I didn't have a take. I just said I didn't have an interest in them. What the fuck? You people suck. This is why we can't do media critique. You people don't listen. You sheep. You don't actually listen to these takes. All you do is listen to hear if I agree with you. And if I disagree with you, you say, bad take. You don't actually listen to the logic. You people, you're sheep, and I'm a wolf, okay? You sleep in a big fucking cozy wool pile, okay? But I'm prowling the perimeter, okay? I'm prowling the perimeter with my hot takes, okay? And I'm gonna jump in, all right? You're gonna be there, you're gonna be with your little sheep family. You're gonna be like, I like Pokemon because I think the battles are fun. And you get pulled off into the night. Your family won't know what happened to you, okay? I'm gonna be prowling. They're gonna have they're not even gonna have a body to bury, okay? They're just gonna they're gonna fucking burn a little piece of wood and keep the ashes in a jar, okay? Some of you are getting off to this. Stop! Hello. Can you show me where the logic is exactly? The logic is up your mom's ass. Go find it. Fuck you. Arnold Schwarzenegger called Trump supporters Nazis. Oh yeah, I saw this. This was actually... Okay, I mean, it was pretty libby, but like... Okay, a lot of people are under the impression... No babies. No babies. Nope. Nope. A lot of people are under the impression that, liberal commentary on fascism... Okay, I'm sorry. I have a really hot take. Are you ready for it, guys? I have a really hot take right now, okay? So, it remains the case that right now, the liberal front in America is like 1,000 times the size of the left front. So anytime I make any relative comments about liberals and lefties, you have to take into consideration the fact that the liberals are way, way, way more prominent. But I actually think I've seen better takes on Trump from liberals than I have lefties over the past couple of weeks. It's like really fucking frustrating. Right now, the lefties are like, how can you be a cab while also believing that fascist terrorists should be turned into the FBI? Actually, don't you think it's bad to condemn the Trump supporters? Because we kind of want to do an insurrection too. We just want to do a better one. I don't know about these optics guys. I mean, when we condemn them, doesn't that just mean that the libs are going to condemn us? What, like, it's actually giving me brain rot. Whereas the liberals are just doing what they always do, which is just unilateral condemnation of the thing that they don't like, usually in a performative and symbolic way, which in this case, I think is actually a lot better. I don't know, dude. It's really frustrating. Right now, if we don't like fascism, we don't like fascism, right? Isn't that like the left's big enemy? I thought, when I got into leftism, I thought the left's big enemy was fascism. That's what I thought. That's what I learned. That was the big battle. That liberalism eventually decays, and depending on the material conditions of the society that's decaying, it either decays in a good way into socialism or in a bad way into fascism, and that the big battle is between the forces there. And this seems to happen in a bunch of other societies around the world. In some parts of the world, liberalism reigns dominant. In Western Europe and in America, liberalism have had a stronger grasp because we have very robust economies, which means that capitalism has a broader, deeper-seated interest in maintaining the status quo. So, in my mind, fascism is like the great enemy, in my opinion. But a lot of lefties seem to think that liberalism is the great enemy, and that when fascists stir shit up, it's actually based because it's like fucking with the liberals, you know? Which is really fucking weird to me. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, wait, fuck, dude. I thought fascism was the big enemy here, you know? Crystal Ball regrets her takes on Trump. Oh, shit. Is that true? I'll give her credit if she says that. Anyway, like, if liberals are making a bunch of milquetoast performative condemnations of Trump, I'm fine with that. A lot of people like and respect Arnold Schwarzenegger. I think, I don't know, I mean, There's some things he's done that's cool in his life. There are a lot of things he's done that I disagree with. But if he's going to condemn Trump and call Trump a fascist, I mean, is that bad? I've seen some lefties making fun of this. Like,
I would like to say a few words. As an immigrant to this country, I would like to say a few words to my fellow Americans and to our friends around the world about the events of recent days. Now, I grew up in Austria. I'm very aware of Kristallnacht, or the Night of Broken Glass. It was a night of rampage against the Jews carried out in 1938 by the Nazi equivalent of the Proud Boys. Wednesday was the day of broken glass right here in the United States. The broken glass was in the windows of the United States Capitol. But the mob did not just shatter the windows of the Capitol, they shattered the ideals we took for granted. They did not just break down the doors of the building that housed the American democracy, they trampled the very principles on which our country was founded.
Like, again, and it's important to remember this. This is like performative liberal, like, bullshit. It is. Like, this country has always been steeped in violence and racial terror and anti-democracy. And the Capitol building has been like the nexus of that behavior for a very long time. But at the same time, this is better than the alternative. This is better than being silent, and it's certainly better than supporting them. So in like a consequentialist sense, this is still like based. I don't know why so many people are so eager to denounce this, to be like cooler than this, you know, like, dude, when all the liberals came up and said fascism bad, that was like so cringe because they didn't say fascism bad, comma, socialism good. Like, fuck, dude, can we take the wins when we can?
Now, I grew up in the ruins of a country that suffered the loss of its democracy. I was born in 1947, 2 years after the Second World War. Growing up, I was surrounded by broken men drinking away their guilt over their participation in the most evil regime in history. Not all of them were rabid anti-Semites or Nazis. Many just went along, step by step, down the road. They were the people next door. Now, I've never shared this so publicly because it is a painful memory.
Huh?
But my father would come home drunk once or twice a week, and he would scream and hit us and scare my mother. I did not hold him totally responsible because our neighbor was doing the same thing to his family, and so was the next neighbor over. I heard it with my own ears and saw it with my own eyes. They were in physical pain from the shrapnel in their bodies and in emotional pain from what they saw or did. It all started with lies and lies and lies and intolerance. So being from Europe, I have seen firsthand how things can spin out of control. I know there is a fear in this country and all over the world that something like this could happen right here. Now, I do not believe it is, but I do believe that we must be aware of the dire consequences of selfishness and cynicism. President Trump sought to overturn the results of an election, and of a fair election. He sought a coup by misleading people with lies. My father and our neighbors were misled also with lies, and I know where such lies lead. President Trump is a failed leader. He will go down in history as the worst.
Oh, by the way, that's another thing that's been blowing my mind lately. There have been people who have been saying that, and I've seen lefties say this too, that what the Trump supporters have done, what they're doing, what they're leading to, isn't like the Nazis because the Trump supporters have been lied to. Like, they don't actually know. Like, they're victims. They're delusional. Like, that's exactly what happened with the German population too. There's this really weird inclination, or this really weird, like, so wait, I want to clarify. The people that I'm referring to here, the takes that I've seen, aren't saying that the Nazis didn't lie. I think there's this belief that, like, the German Nazis were all very principally and very deliberately and very consciously what they were. They were consciously Nazis. Whereas, like, modern day Trump supporters are just, like, getting whipped up in, like, delusional, you know, bourgeois propaganda, which is not the case. Generally, fascists and fascist movements are built on the confused. But yeah, I don't know.
Worst president ever.
Wait, can we acknowledge that the only similarity between Kristallnacht and January 6th was that they both involved fascists performing civil unrest against political opponents, and that's it? Oh yeah, the Kristallnacht comparison is a little bit yikesy. It gives people like Ben Shapiro an excuse to id pull pander a little bit. But yeah, the night of broken glass was like thousands of Jews and Jewish businesses, like people getting killed and disappeared and tortured and beaten up and property. It was like this gigantic broad attack. But this was a very deliberate attack on the Capitol. Yeah, I think a better comparison, yes, the beer hall putsch, but yes, fewer people know what that is, so it's not as poignant, I guess. Yeah, the putsch is a better comparison. Did he just call Trump the worst president ever? I think this is a hot take. I think Trump has the capacity to be the worst president ever, yeah. In terms of actual damage done to the infrastructure of the state, Reagan, I think, easily, like, beats him out, like, pretty well, and Bush does as well. But, like, Trump has gotten us closer than ever before to just ending democracy. That's the thing. Like, there are all these, like, bad boy buttons that people have been pressing for a while now, Reagan and Bush and stuff like that, but Donald Trump has a big button, okay, and it's end democracy, and he's been pushing down on it as hard as he can for the entirety of his presidency. And the thing is, once you end democracy, that's like the big bad. That essentially surpasses every other bad. Tumbling into fascism is about the worst thing that you can do. You know? This was more like a failed march on Rome. Keep in mind, dude, the beer hall putsch failed, and then 10 years later, Hitler was premier. Like, you know, step one, step two. Also, wait, hold on. I just took a look at this. What the fuck? What the fuck is going on right now? This is from the fucking U.S. Department of State. Donald J. Trump's bibliography. Donald J. Trump's term ended today at 7:43:30 p.m. What the fuck is this? Is he resigning? No way. He can't resign. That's not possible. He's not capable of it. Yeah, this would be EST, so this would be 4:43:30 my time. Is this a hack? This would be... What is this? Wait, the State Department is going to be live? Wait, are they following this up with some sort of live broadcast? Wait, is this actually real? Is this not a hack? When is it going live? The pre-stream, the fucking pre-card has been going on for 90 minutes. What is happening? Secretary Pompeo delivers remarks to Voice of America. When the fuck is this going live? Hit play? No, it's not. Nothing's happening right now. It's been on the pre-card. At 12 your time in 1 minute? Wait. So it's going live like now then. Hold on. This can't be a resign. There's no fucking way. It's not possible. Donald Trump can't resign. He's not capable of it. He lacks the Constitution. He can't do it. Also, if you're enjoying the stream today, you should subscribe to my channel. I love you. And hit the bell. This should go live shortly, if people are correct in saying that it begins about now. But they're usually a little bit late, because it's the government, so they suck. Well, we have to wait on this. There's nothing else that's more important than understanding what's going on right now. What the fuck? Wait!
An address and conversation presented in Voice of America headquarters by Mike Pompeo, U.S. Secretary of State.
Thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming USAGM CEO Michael Pack.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to everyone joining us live, both in person and virtually all over the world.
Is he not going to talk about
I
it?
am Michael Pack, the Chief Executive Officer of the U.S. Agency for Global Media, which is the federal government entity that manages and oversees U.S. civilian international broadcasting.
Okay, this doesn't have anything to do with it. I'm seeing word that it was a hack. Well, seeing word doesn't mean anything. How do you know? Because that guy doesn't have the authority to talk about anything on that level. Keep going. Wait, okay, I'll keep having it playing in the background, I guess, while I look up stuff.
Let me be clear.
Okay, hold on.
This behavior is an affront to the universal right of freedom of expression, a right to which every single person is entitled by virtue of being a human being. America has never stood for this form of malevolence, and our nation must now confront it even more vigorously. Indeed, as the adversaries of liberty and democracy double down on producing and distributing disinformation, America must reassert itself in the new global war of ideas. To do that, we need to more robustly promote and explain our principles to the world.
I think this might be a hack. The time has changed. Look, now it's down to my time 4:40. It's a different time now. But if it's actually a hack, how could they have control of the website for this long? It's been about 15 minutes since this was first reported on. Can the State Department really let their fucking website be fucked with for this long? I feel like they would have gotten a hold of this by now. Keep watching? Yeah, is it like a countdown? Oh, shit. How often does it refresh? They're tracking the signal. They're in! Oh, whoops. Does it say the same for Pence? Hacked in the mainframe, yeah. Their website isn't working for me. 100% has to be a state official. Yeah, I don't think a hacker could hold control of like the website for that long. Like I feel like at some point they would have seized control of it again. So it's the same for Michael Pence. I got 1940, 41. I'm at 19. Yeah, it keeps changing randomly. 1944, 12. I have no idea. So this is probably some dumb bullshit. I don't know. Pompeo is about to talk. Okay, we'll listen to Pompeo.
Fortunately, 1940
class. A career Army officer, armor officer in West Germany. In an armored cavalry unit, he helped protect Western Europe against what Ronald Reagan had called the evil empire.
Okay.
Now, Ronald Reagan was known for saying some other things. He was very fond of saying there's nothing better for the inside of a man than the outside of a horse.
Huh.
It's been a long time since we've had horse cavalry, but with a little twisted emphasis on what he said, I've heard that the secretary is occasionally heard to say, life is always better in an M1 tank.
What?
Well, after his military career, Mr.
I'm sorry, I just want to say, if you ever utter the words, life is always better in an M1 tank, you should never be allowed to hold any position of power ever again for the rest of your life. What an insane fucking thing to say, okay? Jesus Christ, the fetishization of fucking war machinery is the most is this what people mean when they talk about archetypical masculinity? There's nothing better for a man than the feeling of a horse's hot. The grind of an M1 tank's engine against your saddle as you ride into the... Yeah.
Pompeo went on to Harvard Law School, where he excelled with the Harvard Law Review. After law school, he went to Kansas and began a successful business career. He founded Thayer Aerospace, where he served as CEO for more than a decade. He later became president of Century International. From thence, he ran for Congress successfully in the 4th District of Kansas. And even as a freshman congressman, he had an outsized influence due to the depth of his knowledge on foreign policy and intelligence issues and his power.
All right. This has nothing to do with what we're talking about, and I do not care. Fuck all this. Get it out. Get it out. Oh, yeah, we were finishing this. Chill.
The good thing is that he soon will be as irrelevant as an old tweet.
Nice meme.
But what are we to make of those elected officials who have enabled his lies and his treachery? I will remind them of what Teddy Roosevelt said. Patriotism means to stand by the country. It does not mean to stand by the president. Now, John F. Kennedy wrote a book called Profiles in Courage. A number of members of my own party, because of their own spinelessness, would never see their names in such a book, I guarantee you. They're complicit with those who carried the flag of self-righteous insurrection into the Capitol. But it did not work. Our democracy held firm. Within hours, the Senate and the House of Representatives were doing the people's business and certifying the election of President-elect Biden.
Guys, I don't care if Mike Pompeo is talking, unless he's talking about the fucking website and the purported resignation of Donald Trump, okay? I don't give a fuck if he's talking otherwise.
What a great display of democracy. Now, I grew up Catholic. I went to church, to Catholic school. I learned the Bible and my catechism and all this. And from those days, I remember a phrase that is relevant today: a servant's heart. It means serving something larger than yourself. See, what we need right now from our elected representatives is a public servant's heart. We need public servants that serve something larger than their own power or their own party. We need public servants who will serve higher ideals.
All right, Dango, tell me again that he's talking about the website, but if I check and he's not, you get banned, okay? Let me know. I'm hinging it on you, yellow name.
The ideals in which this country was founded, the ideals that other countries look up to. Now, over the past few days, friends from all over the world have been calling me in distraught and worried about us as a nation. One woman was in tears about America. Wonderful tears of idealism about what America should be.
The liberalism.
Those tears should remind us of what America means to the world. Now, I've told everyone who has called that as heartbreaking as all of this is, America will come back from these dark days and shine our lights once again. Now, you see this sword?
Oh, God.
This is the Conan sword. Now, here's the thing about swords. The more you temper a sword, the stronger it becomes. The more you pound it with a hammer and then heat it in the fire and then thrust it into the cold water and then pound it again and plunge it into the fire and into the water, and the more often you do that, the stronger it becomes. I'm not telling you all this because I wanted to become an expert sword maker, but our democracy is like the steel of this sword. The more it is tempered, the stronger it becomes. Our democracy has been tempered by wars, injustices, and insurrections. I believe, as shaken as we are by the events of recent days, we will come out stronger because we now understand what can be lost. We need reforms, of course, so that this never ever happens again. We need to hold accountable the people that brought us to this unforgivable point. And we need to look past ourselves, our parties, and disagreements. and put our democracy first.
I wonder if that's the actual Conan prop sword they used. Probably not.
And we need to heal.
Maybe it is. I mean,
together
he's the
from
guy.
The drama of what has just happened. We need to heal, not as Republicans or as Democrats, but as Americans. Now, to begin this process, no matter what your political affiliation is, I ask you to join me in saying to President-elect Biden, President-elect Biden, we wish you great success as our president. If you succeed, our nation succeeds. We support you with all our hearts as you seek to bring us together. And to those who think they can overturn the United States Constitution, know this: you will never win.
All right, thank you.
This, you will never win. President-elect Biden, we stand with you today, tomorrow, and forever in defense of our democracy from those who would threaten
Bend
it.
the knee.
May God bless all of you, and may God bless America.
All right, thank you. Well, if there was any political figure who could hold up a sword and use it as an analogy for democracy, I guess it would probably have to be Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? I'm not saying that it's good or that it's not cringe. Oh, sorry, that was Pompeo. I'm sorry you had to be exposed to him for too long, for the quarter second that you were exposed to him. I'm not saying that it's not cringe. I'm just saying that if anybody was going to do it, I prefer it be Arnold Schwarzenegger as opposed to anybody else, you know? I would rather it be Arnold than like, can you imagine if Donald Trump tried to pull that shit? Like Donald Trump in his fucking gas-bloated body, like fucking hike the sword up to both hands. And this sword, they make it, it's very sharp. They sharpen it with they voting for Trump. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, he'd fall on it. At least it's Arnold. Damn, he's good looking for like 70 million or however the fuck old he is. He was the governor of my state when I was a kid, you know, governor of California. Though I wasn't old enough at the time to really know what the fuck he was doing. And of course, since I didn't pay attention then, I don't know now. Probably not a great governor. Yeah, I can't do a Trump impersonation. I'm not good at doing an impersonation, like, at all. He looks like he's falling apart. I think he looks pretty okay for a guy in his 70s. I mean, you know. He got rid of gerrymandering in California. Well, that's pretty fucking cool. I'd have to look into that to determine the veracity of that claim. Wait, is he that old? How old is Arnold? Yeah. 73 years old. 73 years old. Born in 47. Damn. He keeps in shape, too. This picture of him on the right is from him when he was 70. What the fuck? Most people don't get to look like that at any point in their life. He had steroids. Well, yeah, of course he took steroids. Yeah, he was the world champion bodybuilder for like 6 years. Yeah, back in the 70s and 80s. But he's a big dude in his own too. Did you see the video of the kid who tried to drop kick him a few years ago and he barely even flinched? No, I didn't. But he's probably about as strong as you can get for a guy that age. I don't know. Apparently the Donald Trump thing is a glitch. Ah, that's so much more disappointing. Apparently Rudy is getting disbarred. No way. Hold on. Dude, so much shit is happening. What the fuck? Okay, no. This is the New York State Bar Association. This is a private organization. It wouldn't remove his law license. Okay, no. Yeah. Rudy Giuliani should now mind you, Rudy Giuliani absolutely should be disbarred. Undeniably. Rudy Giuliani absolutely should be. I am actually very confident that I would be a better lawyer than him. I'm not joking when I say that. I genuinely believe that if one of you got in a fucking car accident or you DUI'd or you killed somebody and you needed a fucking lawyer, I would actually be a better lawyer than Rudy Giuliani. He is fucking crazy. Yeah, the LSAT arc. I'm not that great at logic puzzles. The White House isn't denying it? What? You just linked me to a page that doesn't exist. Pompeo is talking about cancel culture? Okay, then I don't care. Pompeo, listen, guys, I'm really sorry. Pompeo is not an interesting person to listen to. What is this? Crazed South African fan drop kicks him? Hold on. What the fuck?
I'll get that.
Why would you do that to a fucking 70-year-old guy? You're right, though. He barely moves. What the fuck? He was a mentally ill person having an episode? Ah, well, that sucks for everyone. Still, that doesn't even... Listen, even if you guys are having a mental episode, don't dropkick fucking geriatric people, okay? Jesus. Arnold handled it very well. Yeah, he barely moved. Explanation of what happened, the State Department thing? Let me see. Ah, very good. Very good. This doesn't confirm or deny the state.gov thing, but this has happened before. Yeah, I saw that. You just don't know how to have fun? Yeah, well, make sure you dropkick the right geriatrics. I have to say, dropkicking old people, I'm sure some part of it's fun. I'm sure there's some, benefit, emotionally, but it has to be the right old person. Do it to Arnold, he barely moves, you don't come off looking terrible. Do it to any other human being that age, and they instantly die, and now you've got a murder charge, and it's not as good. It's not as good, I have a feeling drop kicking McConnell would kind of feel like squishing like a rotten tomato or something. You know what I mean? Or like, have you ever kicked like a pumpkin after it rotted and you expect it to kind of roll, but instead it just sort of disintegrates? Like a bag of wet meat. All right, we've been wasting time. Okay, hold on. Yeah, we'll wait for an answer on the, it was a disgruntled staffer. Do we have confirmation on that? Update. Sources tell BuzzFeed News a disgruntled staffer is behind the State Department site's change of Trump and Pence's biographies. More to come. Wait, not more to come. Sorry, more TK. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, sorry, guys. The likelihood of finding out about Trump's resignation or departure through a leaked website graphic is not very high. That's generally not how this type of information is released, generally speaking. Nice. All right. Listen up, people. House article of impeachment against Donald Trump. Whew, that came out quickly. I think that Ilhan Omar and others were pushing for the articles of impeachment to be drafted and issued before the weekend, but they were able only to get them out this Monday. Well, today. The U.S. House of Representatives has released its resolution to impeach President Donald Trump, charging him with incitement of insurrection, an article for which the House is expected to vote on this week. This is almost certainly going to get, through the House. Or has it already? They're pushing 25th on Friday or impeachment on Monday. From what I've looked, they have the votes. Yeah, okay, so I've heard they have the votes. So from what I've heard, the 25th thing is a really big meme. So Legal has a video on this. Again, I'm not a lawyer, but from what I've seen, the 25th Amendment doesn't look like it's the best response here. Not only is it not going to happen, but additionally, it doesn't even really like withhold power from the presidency that effectively. An impeachment is better. Yeah, the 25th requires half the cabinet to remove Trump. I get, like scattershot approach, whatever sticks to the wall, you go with it. But I don't think the 25th is necessarily the best option here. Realistically, this impeachment probably isn't going to go through either. But how based would it be if it did? Resolution that Donald John Trump, President of the U.S., is impeached for high crimes and misdemeanors, and that the following article of impeachment to be exhibited in the United States Senate. And, of course, you all know what this is about, the insurrection that he enabled. Does this also, this does mention his call to the Secretary of State of Georgia. President Trump's conduct on January 6, following his prior efforts to subvert and obstruct the certification of the results of the 2020 election. Those prior efforts included a phone call on January 2nd, 2021, during which Trump urged the Secretary of State of Georgia, Brad Raffensperger, to find enough votes to overturn the Georgia presidential election results, and threatened Secretary Raffensperger if he failed to do so. This right here, the Georgia call, I actually think on its own, if you ignore everything else that Trump has done, is up there with Watergate. I actually do believe that. Or possibly even worse. Breaking into the DNC to steal files actually feels like it's less significant than straight up fucking attempting to blackmail state officials into falsifying election results. I think this is actually worse. It's actually insane how numb we've become to the shit that Trump does. And by the way, we're going to unnumb ourselves to it the nanosecond Biden's back in office. You know, the moment that Biden is in office, every teeny tiny little process error, every tiny little procedural hiccup is going to be scrutinized to the greatest possible extent for possible attempts at filing impeachment by the Republicans. I mean, Obama was pretty exceedingly careful over the course of his presidency to avoid instigating that kind of action against him. And even then, it always felt like he was walking on thin ice. But yeah, with Biden, they're going to start caring again, like really fucking fast. Regardless, Donald Trump has been just a litany, just a nonstop procession of impeachment baits. And this, I don't know, like on its own, that's enough, man. Like, people don't talk enough about how crazy that is. That's a crazy world out there. People don't talk enough about that. It's like insane. You're calling state officials to get them to falsify election results. That's unbelievable to me. That's just such blatant, obvious, upfront corruption. But you know, that's where we're at. Unfortunately, impeachment is probably not going to happen, but yeah. I mean, the last time we attempted impeachment, the Republican senators all but acknowledged beforehand that they didn't care about the evidence. If you remember, because the last impeachment was over the Ukrainian bullshit, when Donald Trump threatened to withhold what was guaranteed financial aid to Ukraine unless Ukraine was willing to help investigate Joe Biden. And then when the impeachment went through, the Republican senators essentially said, I don't really care what the evidence is. We're voting to acquit. We're acquitting. We're not we don't care. Yeah. And that's probably what's going to happen this time as well. So I don't know. Sergeant at Arms just resigned. A lot of people resigning. Rats fleeing the ship, but rats are rats. Whether they're on a ship or in the water or having made it to dry land and escaped into the sewer system of Paris, they are rats. I don't know why I specified Paris there. Maybe I just think of the French when I say rats. No, it's okay. Sorry, I don't even have a beef with French people. Okay, stop. Oh no, wait, Ratatouille. Okay, wait, that's the association in my head. It's not that I'm racist or ethnicist. Okay. Stupid ass shit. Yeah, you catch me. This impeachment is important though. The first impeachment, I was 50-50 on. There was essentially no chance of it going through. It kind of felt like a virtue signal. which doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad. Even if there's no chance of an impeachment actually succeeding, it can be optically beneficial to lay those at the feet of somebody that needs that condemnation. I'm still 50-50 in the original impeachment. This one, I think, is deeply necessary. There need to be consequences. On every level, there need to be consequences. And every Republican congressman who fails to vote yes on this impeachment, this should be hung over their head for the rest of their lives. I've said this before, but I really do mean it, and I'll always mean it. We do live now in a period where it is democracy versus anti-democracy. Those are where the line has been drawn. It's not about austere liberalism versus progressive liberalism. It's not about gay and trans rights versus traditional heteronormativity. It's about democracy versus anti-democracy, and it's a battle we can't afford to lose. Because if we lose the ability to affect democracy, we lose the means by which we make society better. Trust me, if America loses its democratic foundations, the left is not strong enough to resist meaningfully. It is by playing the optics game, by engaging with the system, by presenting good ideas and defending them publicly, that we are able to make the changes that we have. That is what Bernie Sanders has done and what AOC has done. That is what Stonewall did as well. That is what the Civil Rights Movement did. All of the great successes of this country, all the great leftist movements, have been movements which have played upon the existence of democracy. Even back in the abolitionist days, the cries of the abolitionists were rooted in the traditions of American independence and of American exceptionalism. These systems are necessary for us. They're necessary because they give us the bedrock that we need to make the arguments that we need to make. We need that democracy. And right now, a great many Republicans are legitimately, genuinely anti-democracy in the sense that if that coup had succeeded, that is to say, let's fudge some numbers. Maybe Trump has some more friends in the Pentagon. Let's say that they took the Capitol building, they overwhelmed it, they took hostages. Of course, they take the Democrats. The Republicans that are on their side are free to go. The Republicans who have up until this point been supporting Donald Trump's delusion that the election was stolen, they would be fine with that. In fact, I can almost imagine now if there was a military coup afterwards, or if the military took Washington and martial law was declared, I can imagine people like Matt Gaetz. I can imagine people like Ted Cruz tweeting about how, the tree of liberty, Josh Hawley, Jim Jordan, how the tree of liberty has been watered, how they are happy to have been chosen by the glorious people of this great country to lead. What else could you have expected to happen as blood, drips through the river, in rivers through the halls of the Capitol building, the blood of AOC and all the Democratic senators and Congress people and what have you. They would be tweeting about how this was a necessary and inevitable consequence of the stolen election. I guarantee you, dictatorships are not so petty a thing that people would play this lightly with them without being willing to commit. I guarantee you that in a different world, right now, they would be bartering for gubernatorial concessions. They would be bartering for a seat at the table with Donald Trump had things gone that way. And much in the same way that loading a gun and firing a bullet and missing is still attempted murder, this being an attempted coup, everyone who participated and enabled it, no matter how much they distance themselves from it now, are accomplices in an attempt to eliminate democracy. And this needs to be hung over their head. There need to be impeachments. We cannot cooperate with these people. We cannot concede a goddamn thing. But I just know that in 4 years, nobody's going to care about any of this. Nobody's going to care about any of this. We'll see, though. We will see. I support this impeachment in large part because actually, it's kind of funny now that I think about it. I support this impeachment for the same reason that Jimmy Dore types support the force the vote thing. They support force the vote because they want to see who really supports Medicare for all. And I want to see who really deserves to have this hung over their head, who really is anti-democratic, I want that brand on them. I would argue, of course, my reasoning is more legitimate, but the logic underlying it is pretty similar. Do you not think this event will be remembered to the same extent in the US as 9/11? Not even fucking close, dude. Listen, after 9/11, George W. had like 92% approval rating and the entire country was united. The nanosecond that the fucking coup went overboard, there were Republicans tweeting that Antifa did it. There is not even close to the same level of like across the board respect for the consequences of that attack. Not even fucking close. Also, allegorically, like if we were to compare it to 9/11, the Republican Party would be the Saudis, or they would be like the Taliban, you know, or Al Qaeda or whatever. In this example. So I don't expect them to work with us in this respect. And who is the CIA? What? Yeah. There were Nazis on Twitter fantasizing about raping AOC and posting SpongeBob images of characters covered with cum to represent her, with the caption AOC after the 300th Aryan warrior is done with her. Yeah. Okay. This has always been a component of like fascist uprisings. There's always the simultaneous hatred and desire to sexualize the people you dislike. Well, you're all cringing at that, but like this is the case all the time. Like every single time. Fascists obsess with the sexual domination of women they don't like. Usually because it's to compensate for their feeble masculinity and their general feelings of sexual insecurity. You know, if you don't feel like you're very sexually accomplished or very sexually powerful in your day-to-day life, nothing gets you up quite like the idea of simultaneously getting sex, raping a woman, but also an expression of political dominance over an enemy. It's a very, like, animalistic thing. And by animalistic, I don't mean, like, lizard brain. I mean, like the kind of behavior from somebody that should be locked in a cage. Yeah, there are plenty of people on poll who want to hate fuck Pelosi. Well, there you go. Stupid. The coup at the Capitol had more deaths than Benghazi. Yeah. Based Cori Bush. Okay, hold on. You guys are giving me so many links to look at. Very noisy helicopters flying around Vice President's residence. What is going on? I don't have anything to make of this. Ender Nax is picking a fight. Hold on. Thinking Nick Fuentes / America First / Goipers are going to take over the GOP is like believing Vosh is going to take over the DNC. You'd have to be incredibly politically naive to believe that it's even possible on a wide scale, or they won't face many roadblocks. Okay, that's not really calling me out. I hate to disappoint you guys, but the actual likelihood of me taking over the DNC is vanishingly small. I know, cry about it. Oh, and if you're enjoying the stream, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Fuck you. I know. Sorry. We'll try our best, though. We'll try our best. Even ContraPoints couldn't do it. Well, we'll just have to get bigger than ContraPoints, won't we? BuzzFeed saying it's... Yeah, we saw that. Stone Toss being a weirdo in this video? Yeah, no shit. Stone Toss has, like, VDS. He's super obsessed with me. It's actually kind of flattering. He's like the premier Nazi comic artist, right? There are lefties online bigger than me. I guess I'm the one he settled for. He's like, I'm the one, like, he happened to be obsessed with. It's still up saying 1949. I'm really surprised that they haven't taken that down by now. Stone Toss is a huge cuck, though. I think Stone Toss, despite being a complete Nazi, Stone Toss actually does still hold up the thing where he still holds up the premise that, like, it's all just a joke, which, I mean, phenomenal. You can say whatever you want, but it's obviously not. And I guess it would hurt me to be that cucked, you know? I'm really happy that I live in an environment where I can freely express my ideas and confidently, like, say what I believe, instead of having to constantly wear the fucking, like, crying Wojak mask to like optics hide, you know? It must be exhausting for like Stone Toss and Nick Fuentes and stuff like that to have to constantly fucking hide behind irony rather than just saying your real values. Bosh, what's wrong with Jimmy Dore? I feel like all you need to do is watch me talk about any of the 20 times I've talked about Jimmy Dore, and that should about do it, you know? Holy shit! 1 second. I'm definitely a Taurus moon. Really? Holy shit, yeah. I fucking hate astrology. Astrology is hipster fascism. Chill. The Onion just posting bangers. Let me see. When are you going to collab with Shu and Contra again? You know, I didn't really collab with Shu or Contra. They just kind of showed up in the channel, right? I don't really collaborate with anybody else, which is by my preference. Listen, I'm not going to lie, guys. The idea of like working together with another content creator to make a point feels really fucking cringy to me. I don't know. I like talking on my own. I like talking with you guys. When I have another person on, it just feels like circle jerky and, you know. So then you're playing a Chungus tonight, but I don't think I am. I think other people are playing Among Us. Wait, what is this? Oh shit, PragerU video. Oh, do we want to do a PragerU video? Oh shit. Do we wanna? PragerU, Candace Owens, right? Oh fuck! We have to take a look at this thing from Rising. All right, Crystal. Was I wrong about Trump?
Cause here, but in some ways it's the least interesting part.
Yes.
Because if it's
This is the timestamp I was linked.
a healthy country, if we're in a good place, people would laugh off Donald. He never would have gotten elected through the primary, never would have gotten elected, and would never have been in the position to stoke the chaos we saw last week.
No, you're exactly right. And look, this is the other part, too.
What? Fuck you, Sauger. What do you mean you're exactly right? You're a Trump supporter. Okay.
Where the people who are going after you and are saying, oh, you downplayed all this. Here's the thing. They're never actually, they always set themselves up in a position where they're not wrong. So like Michael Moore comes on the show and says that Bill Barr is going to go and steal ballot boxes in Pennsylvania. And then Trump spouts a bunch of nonsense on Twitter and some people storm the Capitol. And people are like, see, Michael Moore was right. Was he, though? Because he was alleging a grand national conspiracy of the Department of Justice.
Wait, what the fuck you talk? Wait. Okay. I like when he has to come up with an example of people who criticized Crystal Ball being right. It's Michael Moore making a claim about Barr stealing ballot boxes. What about everyone who was saying that Donald Trump posed the threat of a coup? What about that? What about that was like the major thing people were saying. That Donald Trump was going to attempt a coup, that he was going to delegitimize the Democratic election results, and that it might lead to violence.
And the U.S. government, when it was...
This was the wrong timestamp? Well, then why would you timestamp the fucking video?
All right, Crystal, what's on your radar?
Well, the Sunday shows, they're a little extra embarrassing this week, as many of the Republicans who are happy to indulge Trump.
This is what I like more. This is what I want more than anything else. Right here. What I got wrong next to Crystal Ball. Oh, wait, shit. I think I have to be nicer to Crystal Ball right now for reasons I can't tell you guys. Okay.
For years in service of achieving power, tax cuts, and judicial nominees,
here.
They desperately tried to rewrite history and put themselves on the righteous side.
And then fixed it, reversed course, and did the right thing. That was the president that we saw time and again. You saw him through the media. You saw him in the light that you wanted to see him. We saw the real President Trump, who had that ability to pivot when he knew something had gone off the rails. That didn't happen on Wednesday. It hasn't happened much since the election. And that's what I think the difference is.
This isn't on my end, by the way. This frame rate drop. This isn't on me.
And that's why I got that piece so wrong 6 weeks ago.
So look, I've actually got a somewhat nuanced view on this. If people like Mitch and Christie and Mulvaney and Toomey and more are ready to be honest about just how damaging Trump has been to the country and the way he's lied to and used the Republican Party base, that's a good thing. They should be encouraged. They should be given credit for doing so. That doesn't make their own austerity and pro-corporate mindsets any less abhorrent, and I don't think it's too much to ask for a little bit of self-reflection here as well. Not only in how they enabled Trump specifically, but let's never lose sight of the fact that Trump may have gathered the kindling, and he certainly lit the match. But the materials for that tinderbox, they definitely predated Trump. And these guys, among many, many others, were complicit. In fact, if you're looking at what our country has become...
Okay. So... there's truth to this to an extent. Obviously, like, material conditions compound upon themselves. If Trump would not exist today were it not for the contributions laid by every president before, and everything leads up to everything else. But like, there are leaps and jumps, you know, like there are jumps that have to be acknowledged. It is true that the conditions that Obama laid before him did kind of lead into Trump. You know, you had the 2008 financial disaster, and you had the Black Lives Matter protests and the subsequent blowback, and like Obama presided over all this. Obama was, you know, the reporter in chief, and all these conditions kind of got like exacerbated and played on, and Trump couldn't have happened the way Trump is today back in the 1990s. So obviously, like, these things compound. The issue with this, though, is that there are leaps and jumps, and if you have an obsession with calling out precedent, but like it's to the exclusion of pointing out where things really got bad, it's really fucking weird. You know what I mean? It'd be like, I don't know, dude. It would be like if you're like a bullied kid in class, like you're a bullied kid, okay? Like you've got the mopey emo hair or whatever, and like people pick on you, and like sometimes they'll like flick eraser tips at you like in class, or they'll like say mean things about you. And then like one day, like one of the kids takes you out back and just beats the shit out of you, you know? Just beats the ever-loving shit out of you while like other people watch. Well, it is true that that last bit of bullying right there was sort of the culmination of a lot of strong precedent, like led into it. I think it would be really weird to watch that happen and then go like, okay, but we really didn't talk enough about the bullying that happened before. Like, you know, I mean, it's just a little hypocritical for Susan, who flicked a pencil eraser, to now say that she really feels sorry for him for getting beaten up. Because, I mean, really, if you look into it, like, there's none of this could have happened if it weren't for the precedent established for the, like, there's an element of truth here, but I think all things have to be played into the appropriate weight of their contribution.
Where millions are easily duped into complete delusions, and some small subset is so convinced that they are willing to actually risk their lives on a complete fantasy. If you're looking at that and feeling really superior, feeling aghast and completely removed from it, I'd be really suspicious of that feeling. I think it is critically important to place vehement blame on the people who were most culpable. Those who broke laws should obviously be prosecuted, and we got plenty of existing laws, by the way, to cover it without adding new levels to the police state. And especially, we should use whatever tools are at our disposal to do that rarest of things and actually create some consequences for the elites who played with fire for fun and profit. That's why I support impeaching Trump or passing.
Okay, again, I don't, she says elites. Why can't she say Republicans? No Democrats supported what happened. The number of people, the list of elected officials who supported this was exclusively composed of Republicans. So using the term elites, maybe this is better if you have like a neutral audience and you want to use elites to try to avoid making them defensive.
A 14th Amendment legislative ban on him ever seeking office again. I also support censure for the congressional ringleaders of this madness. I've heard many people exclaim after watching this mob rampage through the Capitol that this isn't who we are and that this isn't America. But unfortunately, this is America. It's the America that we collectively have built and have fed.
But you're complicit in that. Your both sidesing was part of what made this America. Your unwillingness to distinguish between the threat of fascism and the threat of liberalism is one of the things that put us in this position.
There's hardly a person among us who hasn't made some contribution to this America that we see before us, whether it was large or small.
Yeah,
so let me start here with myself. I've taken a lot of heat.
Okay.
For a rather snarky and self-satisfied radar I delivered back in November. Let's take a listen. Well, folks, not sure what happened here this past week, but I am sorely disappointed.
Is this a wait, hold on. Is this a zipper? Right here? What is this zipping? Oh, it's a mic. Oh, I'm such a fucking idiot. I'm sorry. I'm an idiot. I'm sorry. It's a microphone. Stop. Go away.
I mean, I have been promised a fascist authoritarian coup directed by Vladimir Putin himself for 4 years now, and I'm getting a little impatient waiting to see how it all goes down. In fact, I was told this election wouldn't even happen because Trump would cancel it or at least postpone it indefinitely. I was told that an elaborate plot was being hatched with scary words like disinformation and misinformation and deep fakes to rob poor innocent Joe Biden of his rightful victory. I was informed in no uncertain
I'm getting really even though she's criticizing this clip, I'm getting really angry just watching it again. Holy shit.
terms that Attorney General Bill Barr had masterminded a devious plot to confiscate ballot boxes, or that Trump would force the FDA to inject all Democrats with toxic hydroxychloroquine or something. So I actually went back and I reviewed that entire radar to think about what I would do differently if I had to deliver it again. Now, if you look at the whole thing, I do, in fact, decry the damage Trump has done to the country, and I warn what a dangerous situation it is that millions of Americans are complete nihilists with zero trust in anyone outside of Donald Trump. If I did it again, I probably would revise it to foreground that danger and to treat it a little more seriously. But the truth is, we did.
That's your criticism. Okay. That's like a quarter apology right there. So for me, I just want to be clear. For me personally, okay, I have made some like mistakes in my predictions, okay? First of all, I don't know if you guys know this, but back in January, like I think this was actually late December of 2019, I remember loading up some info on this weird thing called COVID-19 in China, and I said to multiple times to my stream, this isn't going to be anything. They drum up these fucking pandemic fears like once every 2 years. This isn't going to be anything. Don't worry about it. And I never published that video, and I'm really happy that I didn't, okay? Ooh, that would have been a deleted video right there, by the way. Woohoo, baby. Yeah, that would have been a delete. Oh, yeah. Oh, God. But I didn't post that. But even then, I want to make a distinction, though, okay? I'm not an epidemiologist. I'm not a virologist. I'm not anything related to medicine. If I had made a mistake like that, I would have deleted the video, made a follow-up, been like, I'm such a fucking idiot. I'm sorry, guys. I love you. Please don't hate me. And I would have posted that. And honestly, I wouldn't have felt that guilty afterwards because, again, I'm not a fucking virologist. Okay, you know? And most importantly, my ignorance wouldn't really have contributed to the problem. But the problem is that Crystal Ball is a political commentator. She does do politics. I do politics. If I had made a mistake as egregious as downplaying the threat Trump posed, and then like the 6th of January 2021 happened, there would have been so much egg on my face. I could have made like a month's worth of omelets, you know? Like that's a severe miscalculation. One deserving, I think, of a pretty severe response. Fuck, I just missed a call. I think I have to take it. Just 1 second. All right, back.
Did take that threat extremely seriously for months building up to election day. We talked about it relentlessly in the buildup to November. How the country's on edge, at each other's throats, desperate, lonely, conspiratorial, and that Trump was a bad actor who would never, ever do anything but add to the chaos and light the fuse. I mean, this guy lost his mind after Mitt Romney lost, unleashing a classic Trumpian tweet storm, including allegations that the vote was rigged and that, quote, we should have a revolution in this country. Now, he's too lazy to actually try to go full dictator and stay in office. But will he recklessly incite his most highly agitated and, by the way, highly armed supporters, the Kyle Rittenhouse portion of the party?
Okay, wait. I'm sorry. There's so much news that's been happening today. What the fuck is going on? Are you fucking kidding me? Breaking. Mike Pompeo has just announced that the U.S. is redesignating Cuba as a state sponsor of terrorism. For the record, the Proud Boys have killed more Americans than Cuba. Are you fucking kidding me? Again? We're doing this shit again? But Trump, anti-war, by the way. Trump, good for our foreign relations, by the way. What the fuck has Cuba done? Fuck, give me the Secretary of State bit again. That would have been from the Secretary of State video we skipped. I didn't think they were going to fucking declare Cuba a terrorist state. How could I have known? What the fuck? Cuba's continued support for terrorism in the Western Hemisphere must be stopped. The U.S. is returning to Cuba to state-sponsored terrorism. What terrorism? Wait, what has happened? Wait, in the live stream, he kept talking about how China forces communism on everyone. Shit was straight up propaganda. Okay, maybe the live stream doesn't have anything worthwhile to look at. What terror? Like, what incident? Wait, what? We are ceasing all operations in the U.S. for the time being, as well as putting a temporary halt to our intended plans for humanitarian fundraising. Let it be known the Trump administration just criminalized foreign humanitarian aid to Yemen. Aren't there enough dead kids there? The Secretary of State, Michael Pompeo, announced today that they intend on designating Houthis, as a foreign terrorist organization as part of its strategy against Iran. Donald Trump, anti-war president! However, what this FTO designation does is impede the delivery of critical humanitarian aid to Yemen's starving people while simultaneously depriving any viable means for a peace initiative. As a consequence, and in line with our values to operate in line with the laws and legislation of the country we represent, we've decided to cease all operations in the United States for the time being. We will thus not be available to organize any events in the U.S. Fearing criminal prosecution. Fearing criminal prosecution! Likewise, we've not been able to establish any fundraisers for Yemen as we had planned for 2021. It's with a heavy heart that we've come to this point. This is the first and foremost to protect ourselves from any liabilities. Let it be known that the Trump administration just criminalized foreign humanitarian aid to Yemen. Is Trump just trying to burn it all down? Yes. Trump is just trying to burn shit down on the way out. So he's criminalizing, so he's designating Cuba state terrorists, even though they've done nothing. What has Cuba done? What the fuck has Cuba done? They're essentially escalating tensions in Yemen as part of a military strategy against Iran. And didn't he like send fucking didn't he posture war with Iran literally 2 fucking weeks ago? He literally posted like a phone picture of a missile with some lettering on it, and he was like, "All right, we're sending the fucking military in," and we sent fucking the Navy near Iran. Didn't we do that like 2 weeks ago? He's literally just trying to leave a gigantic mess for Biden to clean up on the way out. He's just sabotaging Biden. This is the most blatant and deliberate fucking self-destruction we've seen from this presidency. Like, Trump does a lot of destructive shit, but usually it's just because he's stupid or hateful. This is a very deliberate effort to worsen the geopolitical situation for President-elect Biden on the way out. He wants to declare martial law. Do you think that if any of his foreign policy actions led to any kind of retaliation from a foreign nation, he would use that as a excuse to declare martial law and try to suspend the election results? He probably would, wouldn't he? Yeah, he's trying to bait them. Serious opinions on Cuba? My opinions on Cuba, it's a very complicated, very nuanced thing. Cuba's done a lot of bad. Cuba's done a lot of good. I think Cuba deserves legitimate praise for being able to survive in the conditions that it has. It's done a lot of really impressive stuff. They also do bad things. It doesn't matter in the context of this, okay? As a president, you are the fucking representative of America, okay? It's your job to reach out and establish good relations with foreign nations. That's your fucking job. And you have cabinet members to do that as well, but it's your job, okay? That's your responsibility. And this is such a blatant attempt to fuck everything up on the way out. I hate all of you so fucking much, dude. Stop spamming links. Jesus Christ. Just revealed 6 times Department of Defense rejected calls for National Guard last Wednesday. We need to look more into that. What's stopping him from implementing martial law? If Trump actually did implement martial law, I have a feeling the Pentagon would step in. How do you initiate a successful coup? Okay, a successful coup is initiated when you hold power and then you continue to hold power and you get rid of the means by which other people can remove you from power. That's basically a coup. And insofar as the United States is the strongest military power in the world, the linchpin to securing any kind of meaningful, insurrection is working with the military. But from what I've seen, the Pentagon doesn't seem like they're on board for that kind of shit, so it's probably not going to happen. I have a feeling that it's not going to happen. Fuck, though. I don't know, dude. Did you guys hear recently, according to Pelosi, after she spoke with national security, apparently there are contingencies put in place because there are people in government who don't trust Trump with the nuclear codes. What was the department that talked with Pelosi about this? Because Trump is irrational and angry and he doesn't have his Twitter to tweet. They currently don't trust him with the nuclear codes. Like, they've actually taken steps to ensure that he's not going to do anything too bad on the way out. Pelosi spoke to the Department of Defense so Trump can't launch nuclear attacks. Yeah, that's insane. We literally have a president right now where they have to take the nuclear codes away. This is insane. It was the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Yeah, I think they're the people who have power this sort of thing. There. Be free. Pelosi is 10 million% right not to let him use nukes. Well, it's not up to Pelosi. It would just be Pelosi reporting information from the Joint Chiefs. But yeah, this is fucking crazy. All this is going to do is kill people. That's all this is doing. You know what? I call on any Trump supporter in my audience to have the gall to continue defending the idea that Trump is some sort of anti-war president. Okay, what the fuck is wrong with you people? What the fuck is wrong with you people? This, by the way, this has been one of those points that Tulsi Gabbard, Eva, what's that stupid piece of shit's name? Eva Peterson, come on. I know you guys know. Kim Iverson, thank you. The Kim Iverson types, this is one of those arguments they've always made to justify their both sides bullshit. That, hey, you know, Donald Trump may be objectively worse in essentially every issue, but at least he's not a warmonger like Biden. Except Trump has been a warmonger the entire fucking presidency. He hasn't started wars, but he's massively escalated drone strikes, postured war with foreign countries, worsened relations, pulled us out of agreements, threatened war with Iran. Like, he's hardly a pro-peace candidate. Literally dropped the MOAB in Syria. Yeah, it's just not, yeah. Kim Iverson's a China simp? Well, no, Kim Iverson is like doesn't Kim Iverson work for RT? As a general rule, if you work for Russia today, you're probably like a state actor who's opposed to American interests. And any state actor opposed to American interests is probably going to be like pro-Trump, because Trump is really bad for America. Does Kim Iverson work with RT? Hold on. Kim Iverson, Russia Today. Oh, does she not? Am I actually wrong on that? It looks like she's appeared on some RT stuff. I don't know if she actually like works for the organization. Probably not. Just a tendency I've noticed, you know. Bit of a generalization. Abby Martin is based. Not that familiar with Abby Martin. Only just a couple of things that I've heard. I mean, the more sporadic, the better, right? If every single person that works for RT is like an idiot fucking anti-American drone, then they probably wouldn't be a very effective advocate for their terrible positions. You want to spread it out a little bit. Kim Iverson defended the re-education camps. Yeah. It's like Caleb Maupin to your shit. Yeah, Caleb Maupin works there, and he is a dipshit anti-American low IQ state agent. So, yeah. I'd love to talk to you, Vosh, about Force the Vote and Jimmy. Or at least I feel like on the Force the Vote segment, Vosh wasn't very nuanced. All right, Scarehawk. I have to take a call and respond to it for like 5 minutes or something like that. If you can get in the Discord and you can get yourself set up, probably with Hyena, to talk to me, then I can talk to you when I come back, okay? And then we can talk about Trump fucking randomly limiting gay abortions or whatever, okay? How about that? We can do that? That sound good? Here, wait. Is there like a thing you guys can watch in the meantime? I just need to respond to the goddamn call. The gay abortions? Yeah. Trump restricted more LGBTQ rights. Put on H Bomber. I'm not going to put on H Bomber guy. Cringe. Not. I'm kidding. He makes really good videos. Okay, you know what we're going to do? Here you go, guys. You're going to watch Candace Owens, okay? You all are going to train yourself. Criticize the video without me being here, okay? That's your job. Godspeed. Good luck. I believe in you. You're all going to do it. Good luck. Facebook censored a sitting president. None of us are safe, okay? Today you're going to learn.
Facebook is trying to delete me. Big Tech is trying to delete us, our movement. We must stop them. You are smart. Long ago, you stopped believing in the corrupt corporate media. You canceled the newspapers and cable shows and began reading your news from social platforms. Dominant on those platforms were conservative voices, like mine. We are the Americans who did not have a voice in traditional media. Honestly, do you think the left wants me to have a platform to speak? But I can have a voice. Here, on my own social platforms. I can be heard. That freedom infuriates the left, who used to own complete control over our information. So they hatched a plan to silence me and all of us conservatives. And Facebook is paying them for it. Here is how it works. In 2016, hysterical liberals had to find someone to blame for their humiliating loss to Donald Trump. In their minds, they could not possibly have lost due to their own horrendous candidates or policies or their own failing message, so they attacked the one thing that they did not have total control over: social media companies. They applied extreme pressure to silence or censor fake news, which was just a fancy way of saying news that they don't like. Facebook bent to that pressure and created a fact-checker network with godlike powers over all of us. Here is how Facebook fact-checking works. A website you have never heard of, run by partisan beta leftists, stalk the pages of your favorite conservative personalities. Whenever we say anything they disagree with, these fact-checkers write a vicious partisan hit piece. Then they harass us and our audience by slapping hazardous warning labels on what we have posted. Many times, those labels say missing context or disputed. Yes, thanks, Facebook. Every political argument in America is disputed. Every argument is indeed missing some context. But the insanity continues. These hack checkers, as I like to call them, would be just an annoyance, but Facebook gives them the ability to destroy the reach of our content, so we cannot communicate with you. They demonetize our pages so we can't make a living producing content for our audiences. And here is the breathtaking part. Most of these fact checks are pure partisan bile. They are false, fake, untrue. But there is no recourse for your favorite conservative creators. We are held at gunpoint by these partisan hacks, and Facebook is giving them the gun. This is why I am suing the Facebook fact checkers. I'm suing them on behalf of you, your favorite creators and news sites, on behalf of our freedom of speech and thought. So who are these hack checkers? Well, I'm suing a site called Lead Stories. Lead Stories is run by a former CNN employee of 26 years who makes a living cannibalizing and slandering conservative content and creators. His website has published disputed fake news stories, including one that went after my content personally. And so I'm going after him personally. Here is an important question. Who funds Lead Stories? According to their own masthead, Lead Stories is funded by Facebook and Google, along with ByteDance. And what is ByteDance? It's a Beijing-based company that owns the TikTok spyware app. Our own Justice Department says the company is a national security threat and compromised by the Communist Party of China. Facebook, then, is paying for fact checkers funded by an arm of the Communist Party of China to censor my content here in America.
Are you all red-pilled? How bad was it? It's pretty bad? You guys don't look happy. Oh, you guys, wow. Wow, you guys look really unhappy. Whew, I'm sorry, guys. Watch it. I have to watch it? Wait, why should I have to watch it? You guys didn't seem to like it. Why should I have to watch it? Oh, do I have to? Man. I can take a look. You had 20K viewers and you left them to Candace Owens. Yeah, well, I like torturing you guys. Skim through the transcript. Okay.
Is trying to delete.
Let's do it. We're going to skim. Okay, I'm going to skim.
Us, our movement. We must stop them.
Okay, well, we'll just skim.
News from social platforms. Dominant on those platforms were conservative voices, like mine. We are the Americans who did not have a voice in traditional media. Honestly, do you think...
Oh, God. Okay, nope, hold on. You had your shot.
Facebook is trying to delete me.
All right,
Big
cool.
Tech is trying to delete us, our movement. We must stop them.
Okay.
You are smart.
What is this production value? Man, oh God, the right has so much money behind it. It hurts me. It hurts me to watch their content. There's so much. They have like teams of editors and they get like producers and they book appointments and stuff like that. And I just like me, I'm just over here grilling, you know?
Long ago, you stopped
smart.
believing in the corrupt corporate media.
Okay. Let's talk about framing and let's talk about propaganda. It's really interesting that in the same sentence she is decrying the corrupt corporate media while also engaging in a proven psychological tactic designed to misinform people. So when you say stuff like, you're smart, you believe X, what you're doing is priming them. What you're essentially trying to do is take a person who either has a set of preconceived notions or who's on the fence about them, and then you push them into believing something they don't necessarily believe by implying that they would have arrived at that conclusion naturally through their own intelligence. It's like that, it's like Inception, basically. You're trying to put it in their brain. She precedes this by saying the person she's talking to is smart, but this tactic is something that works better with dumb people. So, yeah. Now, by the way, if you fall for stuff like this, that doesn't mean you're dumb. I'm just saying, like, the more cognizant you are of these tactics, the less effective they are.
You canceled the newspapers and cable shows and began reading your news from social platforms.
I just want to say the movement away from newspapers and traditional media towards alternative media has objectively led to a decrease in general awareness. That is, by the way, that is a fact. Look, I love the internet, okay? I love free pornography or whatever, but Americans were definitely more informed on reality when we got our news from newspapers and from traditional media. There used to be literal laws that prevented these news corporations from lying the way they're able to today. We have now moved to a radically decentralized form or network of journalism and of independent media, which sounds great, but in reality, all that means is that venture capitalists can make millions and millions of dollars selling a very specific group of people very effective lies. It's that simple. Like what alternative media really is that it's opened up the gates to incredibly aggressive and incredibly exploitative marketing.
Dominant on those platforms were conservative voices, like mine.
I like how you say were, and yet you're still one of the largest figures, like, around. That's really interesting. Hold on. Google Trends. Go to Google Trends, and then we search Candace Owens. And then we go to the past 5 years. And, wow. Wait, guys, what the fuck happened around the... Wait, hello? What happened here? Right here? What happened right there? Right here. I have no idea. The BLM protests? Wait, hold on. June. Oh, yep. George Floyd. This was when she made the video saying George Floyd was no angel. Yep. Okay. So it seems to me that except for that massive spike where she profited immensely from the death of another black person, you know, classic Candace Owens style, it seems like with some occasional spikes, she's still repping like the same numbers as always. I mean, to compare, like, yeah, I don't even show up in this graph. Just so you guys know, like, comparative relevance. Or with Ben Shapiro, that's Eben Shapiro. Sorry, that's his less successful. Yeah, like, I don't know. They kind of bump together. I don't know. She's one of the largest voices online, period. I don't think she's in a position to complain.
We are the Americans who did not have a voice in traditional media. Honestly.
Yeah, conservatives. Just no way you could get your conservative opinions fed to you in traditional. Yep, no possible way. If by her opinion she means like alt-right or like fascist, then even then, I mean, I don't know. Glenn Beck was playing The Wire for quite a while.
Do you think the left wants me to have a platform to speak?
What do you mean? What does it matter whether or not the left want? You don't want me to have a platform to speak. What's the...
But I can have a voice. Here, on my own social platforms.
This, like, cyberpunk shit is really crazy. Look at this. What is this? Like, is this like, fuck, what is that game? What is that game? Come on, guys. Watch Dogs, yeah. Like, you see Candace Owens on the street. Public figure. Make sure to subscribe. Ring the bell.
I can be heard. That freedom infuriates the left, who used to own complete control over our information.
So a really good trick that you can listen to whenever you're listening to people like Candace Owens or anyone else comparably stupid is whenever they say the left and they're talking about big tech, you never have to listen to another word from them. You never have to listen to another word. When they say the left and they're including everybody from Antifa to CNN, what they have done is actually described almost like every human being on earth. The left is just every human who is to the left of, like, Adolf Hitler. They're describing everybody, okay? I've seen people say that, like, Reddit moderation is done by communists. I'm pretty sure the owner of Reddit is, like, a right libertarian, like, who's talked about how he would own slaves if he lived back in the 1800s. Spez? I'm pretty sure I remember that. But they'll call anybody a communist if they're not, like, 100% towing the party line. The amount of ideological hegemony on the right is insane. You absolutely have to toe the line, or they'll call you a communist. They're calling Mike Pence a communist now.
So they hatched a plan to silence me and all of us conservatives. And Facebook is paying them for it.
Really?
Here is how it works.
I haven't gotten shit from this.
In 2016, hysterical liberals had to find someone to blame.
Hysterical liberals.
For their humiliating loss to Donald Trump.
Dude, it's 2021. You can't make fun of how liberals reacted to Trump winning after how you guys have reacted to Biden winning, okay? Listen, they knitted pussy hats. You guys attacked the fucking Capitol building, okay? All right? They had a couple of videos where ladies with colored hair cried, okay? You guys have split the party in half over your hysterical crying, okay? You have no right to complain anymore. These aren't even comparable.
In their minds, they could not possibly have lost due to their own horrendous candidates or policies or their own failing message.
Like, the irony of saying this while also believing the election was stolen from Trump in 2020.
So they attacked the one thing that they did not have total control over, social media companies. They applied extreme pressure to silence or censor fake news, which was just a fancy way of saying news that they don't like.
Wait, but the right is the one that uses the term fake news. Wait, how are you using fake news as a term to describe something the left doesn't like when Trump has been doing that for 4 years? Nice try it, gaslighting, buddy, but it's not going to work for me, gecko for head. What the fuck are you talking about? This is what I mean. Like, again, the contempt these people have for factual information is fucking insane. Conservatives will lie to you shamelessly, and they will lie to you, and they will tell you they are lying to you, and they will expect you to go along with it, and they don't care. They are so incredibly shameless. I was gonna take a second to say, by the way, like, haha, they put all this production value into a video with 130,000 views, which is pretty small for Candace Owens. But you have to remember that The real market here is Facebook, where all the real lunatics are. And if you go to Facebook, you'll find that in a video saying Facebook is trying to delete me, this video has 250,000 shares. God only knows how many views it has. I don't actually know how to show that on Facebook. I don't know where to show. 23,000 comments. Yeah, nearly 300,000 reactions, which means in all likelihood, this probably has in the ballpark of 3 to 5 million views. Click the video, it says view count.
I can be heard. That
Does it say view count? Let's see some of the other ones down here. I don't see it, but it doesn't really matter. The point is that, like, the irony of Candace Owens bitching that she's being censored when she's one of the largest people on Facebook is pretty palpable. So shameless with the lying.
Facebook bent to that pressure and created a fact-checker network with godlike powers over all of us.
Do you think it's maybe a little bit telling that the greatest enemy of conservatives are fact-checkers?
Here is how Facebook fact-checking works. A website you have never heard of, run by partisan beta leftists.
Beta leftists? Candace, dude, look at how much the culture war dialogue fits in here. This video has literally nothing to do with like masculinity or like or like gender standards or anything like that, but they fit it in. They have to fit all the terms together because it's a mishmash of buzzwords. None of them have any individual meaning. They're just meant to like force you to believe or feel a certain way. When they say beta leftists, what she's trying to do is conjure in your head some kind of like soy guzzling, like pasty, limp-wristed Facebook moderator click-a-clacking at a keyboard. Like the goal is to instill a straw man in your head so you don't have to take seriously any considered opposition, basically.
Stalk the pages of your favorite conservative personalities. Whenever we say anything they disagree with, these fact checkers write a vicious partisan hit piece. Then they harass.
Wait. Vicious partisan hit piece. You mean they fact check you? Wait, are you kidding me? Wait. I thought she was going to say, like, they moderate or delete the content. You mean they fact-check you? That's it? Just PolitiFact? That's the vicious partisan hit piece? You're such a fucking pussy, Candace Owens. Not that I would expect anything less from somebody who, back when she grifted as a left-leaning person, would sue organizations for being racist to her, and then while grifting as a right-leaning person, says that she's never experienced racism. Is she doing duck speak? What she's doing right now is duck speak, yes. Okay, right, 2.9 million, thank you. Yeah. Vicious partisan hit piece. Jesus Christ.
Us and our audience by slapping hazardous warning labels on what we have posted.
Hazardous warning
Many
labels?
Times, those labels say missing context or disputed.
Or just wrong. You're just wrong. Cry about it? What are you talking about? Oh, this one video is going to get more reach than my entire channel does. Okay.
Yes, thanks, Facebook. Every political argument in America is disputed.
No. They're not saying that the argument is disputed. They're saying the factual information you're presenting is incorrect. The term disputed is actually a little bit of obfuscating political correctness to your favor there. What they should be saying is, this is wrong. When they say this claim is disputed on Twitter, on Facebook, what they actually mean is, this is factually incorrect. It's political correctness, and they're doing it for your benefit.
Every argument is indeed missing some context.
Very semantic. Well, you claim that I'm wrong all the time, Mrs. Ben Shapiro's mom. But the other day, I correctly identified that it was indeed 12:37 p.m. while looking at my watch. I didn't hear you dispute that information. Clearly, I'm not wrong all the time, Mother. I am indeed right at sometimes. Your statement here is erroneous and quite false.
The insanity continues. These
the insanity that she's described so far as being fact-checked, and that's it. And she opened this video with complaining about hysterical leftists.
As I like to call them, would be just an annoyance, but Facebook gives them the ability to destroy the reach of our content, so we cannot communicate with you.
This video is 3 million views on Facebook. You're like the largest figure. Like, You're up there with Charlie Kirk and Ben Shapiro as the largest conservative demagogues in alternative media. What possible reach are you looking for here?
Monetize our pages so we can't make a living producing content for our audiences.
Really? You can't make a living? Really? Is that true, Candace Owens? You're just struggling so much to make a living. That's really? Maybe your editors are struggling to make a living. I can't imagine they're compensated very well. But like, you're really gonna play that grift, dude? If I played that grift, that like, you guys need to donate and subscribe, don't you want me to be able to survive? Well, that would be pretty pathetic. You probably make 10 times as much as me. You, not even 10, you probably make like 20 or 30 times as much as me, okay? I don't want to hear it.
And here is the breathtaking part. Most of these fact checks are pure partisan bile. They're false, fake, untrue.
Oh, whoa. Are you fact checking the fact checkers? Candace, you're doing the thing. You're engaging in ruthless partisan censorship of the PolitiFact team. What is up with you? Come on. Also, if they're wrong, prove it. I've seen a lot of Snopes articles. I've seen a lot of PolitiFact checks. I've never seen them incorrect. Now, sometimes there is some bias to the way this information is presented. Like, for example, if a politician says, like Bernie Sanders, 100,000 children die every day from our domestic drone strikes where military officials target starving babies for fun. And then, like, fact check could be like, actually, the number is 97,000 a day. We rate this claim false. Like, you can do that. And that's a thing that's happened a couple of times. But having looked through a lot of these, for the most part, like, I'd say like 99% of the time, PolitiFact articles are like on the ball, you know? Candace Owens is wrong every time. I have never seen any content from Candace Owens that wasn't a lie. Every single time I watch it, it's a lie. Consistently. I have never seen anything from Candace Owens that even came in the ballpark of being truthful. Not even close. So, yeah. I mean, I'd love to see her prove that any of these articles are incorrect, but what do you guys want to bet? I mean, you've already seen the video. What do you guys want to bet she's going to call these articles false, fake, untrue, fake news, and then not actually going to prove any of it?
There is no recourse for your favorite conservative creators. We are held at gunpoint by these partisan hacks.
Yep.
And Facebook is giving them the gun. This is why I am suing the Facebook fact checkers.
Wait, really? Dude, this is like the PragerU lawsuit. This is just a way of clout sharking. This is just clout shark. So now Candace Owens is going to get to give bi-weekly updates on the status of the lawsuit. There's absolutely no grounds here. There's no grounds for a lawsuit here. What, they're fact-checking you? That's it?
I'm suing them on behalf of you.
On behalf of you. She's doing it for you, guys. She's doing it for you. Candace Owens threatened to sue Facebook after page was demonetized for comments about Indian American Kamala Harris. Didn't she say some like racist shit about Kamala Harris or something like that? I mean, Facebook has a TOS. I mean, that's how it works. You can't sue websites if they punish you for breaking TOS. That's not how that works.
Favorite creators and news sites on behalf of our freedom of speech and thought. So who are these hack checkers? Well, I'm suing a site called Lead Stories.
Lead Stories.
Lead Stories is run by a former CNN employee of 26 years.
Damn.
Who makes a living cannibalizing and slandering conservative content and creators.
Again, a really effective way of knowing that you're being lied to. She's not actually saying anything. If there's like real dirt on a person, you can actually say that dirt without any like vague signaling or vague posturing. You can just say like, and in 2016, this person was responsible for this like misinformation campaign where they slandered this person and got away with it, or it was dropped in court. The use of buzzwords here obfuscates the fact that this person has probably done very little wrong, or very little that Candace Owens can actually complain about.
His website has published disputed fake news stories, including one that when...
Didn't you just say that the term disputed is meaningless because all politics is disputed, and the term fake news is useless because it's used by leftists to describe news they don't agree with? Wait, how can she in the same video This is, by the way, guys, we're using our Orwellian dictionary today. This is doublespeak. This is cognitive dissonance. Or more accurately, this is her expecting her audience to recognize doublespeak. She probably knows she's lying. No, she definitely does. Candace Owens is a very effective grifter. But what she's expecting is for her audience to be able to hear two contradictory claims and believe both of them. It's doublethink, not speak. Well, it works. Yeah, doublethink, doublespeak. I mean, she's speaking it. Other people doublethink it. Whatever.
After my content personally, and so I'm going after him personally. Here is an important question. Who funds Lead Stories? According to their own masthead, Lead Stories is funded by Facebook and Google, along with ByteDance.
Oh, is that a Chinese company or something?
And what is ByteDance? It's a Beijing-based company that owns the TikTok spyware app.
Spyware app. Okay. You do realize that like all social media companies have like the ability. Facebook has been the most aggressive content like a data aggregate collector that sells it to other companies. But Facebook's not a Chinese company, so.
Our own Justice Department says the company is a national security threat and compromised by the Communist Party of China. Facebook, then, is paying for fact-checkers funded by an arm of the Communist Party of China to censor my content here in America.
Wait, you failed. Wait, you failed to make a connection right here. You missed a step.
Justice Department says the company is a national security threat.
The Justice Department says TikTok is a national security threat, not the company that funds this fact-checking service. Wait, did she just expect her audience to like forget that? Like, the fact-checking service is being funded in part by a Chinese company. Here's another Chinese company, TikTok, the Department of Justice has talked about. There you go. You know, you do know China is the largest country on earth, right? They've got a lot of companies.
And compromised by the Communist Party.
Yeah, this is about TikTok.
Party of China. Facebook, then, is paying for fact-checkers funded by an arm of the Communist Party of China to...
Oh, is it the same company? Oh, ByteDance is the same one. It actually owns TikTok? Oh, okay, gotcha. Wait, did she say that earlier? Did I just miss that?
And what is ByteDance? It's a Beijing-based company.
Oh, she did. Oh, I just completely skipped over that. Oh, my bad. Okay, never mind. Arm of the Chinese government, Communist government. Okay. Okay, wait. I'll slip for a second. I'll actually break rank, and I'll say this much. Okay. Well, Candace Owens' assertion here that this automatically. So wait. Quick point. Okay. If this means that everything this fact-checking organization does and says is fake news, then they should be able to prove it based on the merits of the claim of the fact-checking organization, not just by pointing at its sponsors. If a person's argument is false, you shouldn't need to just point at their sponsors to prove that. You should be able to like actually prove that they're false. Candace Owens is basically like a NASCAR vest full of sponsors. Like she's funded by oil billionaires and media demagogues all around, though she doesn't wear it in her sleeve as actively because the laws for disclosing who you're financed by is vary and it's difficult to, to parse sometimes. But yeah, like you should be able to do that. I will say though, however, I really do think it's fucked up how many Western corporations bend the knee to China because they want to take advantage of that consumer market. That is a big issue. And it is a big problem. There are a lot of concessions that are made there, and I don't like the Chinese government. I don't like what we do there. Not because I'm pro-America, because I'm anti-China and anti-America. Get it out.
This is insanity. It's un-American. It's dangerous.
Oh, it's capitalism.
And it needs to stop.
It's capitalism.
This is why I am fighting. Our freedoms are at stake. Our movement is at stake.
That it?
We know these battles are taking place all over the world. Do you wish to support me in my efforts against these hack checkers? Well, the easiest thing you can do right now
is share the video, yeah. Nice meme. Okay, gotcha. So this conveyed no information. She has no standing for a lawsuit. She wasn't able to describe any actual harm done to her through this fact-checking. And then she says that she was fact-checked by Facebook, but then she's suing some other fact-check organization, which she wasn't able to describe any problems with, and in the entire video, she never gave a single example of any fact-checking against her or anyone else being factually incorrect, which is pretty interesting, you know? Also, a bunch of, like, doublethink, cognitive dissonance, using language that she denounced earlier, making claims that she previously rebuked. Yeah, just really standard stuff. Yeah, Candace Owens is one of the worst ones out there. It's hard to tell with these people because all their positions are completely indefensible, which is why Candace Owens doesn't do debates. But I think Ben Shapiro believes most of what he says. I think that he thinks he's like a little golden boy. I think Candace Owens doesn't believe a fucking word that she says. I think that she's empty inside, like as a person, like ethically. Like there's just a sort of a shell that walks around, you know? Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's pretty fucking bad. But yeah, and if you want to support the fight against horrible disinfo spewing dipshits like Candace Owens, the best thing you can do is share this video and subscribe. Share it out there, people. Get it out there. Woo! Nice. Check out what happened to Cuba. Yeah, we looked at that. Yeah, I remember her saying that Hitler was okay before he started invading other countries. What is this?
Social media crackdown. Does he feel emasculated, especially as he heads out of office?
Look, I wouldn't say emasculated. I mean, if the most masculine person I think to ever hold the White House is the President of the United States.
Social media.
Oh, God, they're so whipped. Oh my God, they're so fucking whipped, Hogan Gidley. Oh God, dude, that you know that he would have been fired if he hadn't given that answer the moment he got back to the White House. Holy shit. Is this what it's like to be cucked? Dude, I'm really sorry. If you feel that the only way for you to keep your job is to go on national television and say that bloated fucking crybaby, that spray tan toupee wearing fuck is the most masculine person to have ever held the office, you are deeply fucking cucked, okay? You could actually ask any question of these people. Do you think that Donald Trump is the most handsome man to have ever existed? Watch the sweat bead down their face. Well, I personally more into women, but yes, I would say that Donald Trump is quite possibly the most handsome man that has ever held the office. Would you say the cock is the girthiest of any president? Well, I can't really say that I've seen Donald Trump's genitalia, but I would say that from what I know of the man, he's a strong, sturdy man. I think that, yeah, he probably does have biggest cock and balls of any man to have ever held the office. Would you say he's the tallest president ever? Yeah, you know, he's probably he's a tall man, you know, and probably, yeah, it's probably tallest president ever lived. Like, yeah, you could do that for anything. No, Trump's actually pretty tall. It's like 6'2", I think. But Lincoln was 6'4", so yeah. Now he's a pretty big guy, yeah. Pretty big boy. Big in all directions. You gonna talk impeachment? I already did talk impeachment, you fucking cuck. Vosh, actually every president so far has been over 6 foot. No, there have been presidents that have been under 6 foot. I think that every president since television has been 6 feet or taller, though. I think so. Generally speaking, the taller candidate wins. I think since the advent of television. Don't I have a debate I was going to do? Oh, shit, right. What happened with that? Lincoln had a really high voice. Yes, I too have watched the movie. That Lincoln movie was pretty good. Was that good? I saw that like in early college. I thought that was a good movie. Do I just like misremember it or whatever? I thought that was a good movie. Who's the hottest president in your opinion? I don't know. I will say one thing though. This is my black pill moment. I don't understand why people thought JFK was handsome. I'm really sorry. I don't get it. I genuinely don't. No matter what age I've seen JFK at, no matter what age or angle, I've just never found him attractive. He's always just looked like just a weird face to me, you know? I mean, if we're talking about presidents before they actually took office, I genuinely feel like Joe Biden is out here running in the thick. I mean, fuck, man. Wait, when was this? Like 1910? This was during the Great Depression, I think. But of course, he wouldn't become president for another 150 years. JFK's face is so tiny. Maybe his voice just doesn't do it for me. Young JFK. Okay, wait, Hyena. So did that person... Yeah, okay, I'm really sorry. I don't know if beauty standards were just different back then, but I'm just not being sold on JFK the way I am with Biden. Of course, I'm biased. I'm looking up bad photos of he was like 10 or whatever. That's just a goofy face. He looks like the Mad Magazine kid. Oh, he does. He kind of looks like, what's his name? Alfred? Okay, Alfie or whatever. No, Alfie's a porn comic. Okay, here's a good picture of JFK. Alfred E. Newman. There we go. That's a good picture. I still don't think he looks as good as young Biden, but I don't know. Is this him? Wait, is this him? No. Is this JFK? No. No, this has to be an actor. Why is this saying this was JFK? That's not JFK. This website's saying that's JFK. That's not right. Before JFK... Oh, this was Jack Kennedy's assistant. No, it's saying this is JFK. Huh. Nothing bad ever happens to the Kennedys. Yeah. Can we focus? JFK Jr.? Yeah, well, all right. All right, chill. All right, what about this? What about this debate? Hold on. Did we get... I don't see any DMs from anybody talking about force the vote. Oh, hold on. Wait, I have another call. Fuck me, dude. One sec. Honestly, these people, Jesus. I'm getting bogged down with all these calls. Oh, by the way, if you're enjoying this stupid fucking stream, make sure to subscribe. I love you guys, okay? Jesus Christ. We, what did I do to deserve over 20,000 people here? FBI is saying there's planned riots in all U.S. capitals. I feel like we should talk about this. Okay. Apparently this debate individual has shown up. Scarehawk. Why do I have to friend request them? I'm the streamer. This isn't fair. Look up young Gerald Ford. You jerk off to them yourself, okay? Is this the person? Hold on. Wait, how do I... Doesn't show me their fucking tag. Okay, hold on. I'm just gonna add them as a friend. Oh, here they are. Okay. The other person. Nearly got bamboozled by the wrong person. Okay, we're gonna do this quick. Yo!
Hear me?
Yeah, what's up? Hello?
Hang on, I'll just quiet your stream for a sec. So yeah, hi. I'm Liam, and I just wanted to discuss Force the Vote with you a little bit. I watched your segment on Jimmy Dore, I think about 2 weeks ago on YouTube.
Uh-huh.
And there were some well, I first of all I watch Jimmy Dore, and I watch Kyle Kalinske and some other commentators. So I would not say I agree with you that Jimmy's a grifter, but yeah, I guess we
Really?
could get into that. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So
Well,
that-
yeah, just give me the rundown and we'll see where we disagree. Okay, hit me up.
All right. So first of all, I guess we could start on Force the Vote, because I think there's kind of like two things to discuss there. First of all, is if you think like if it's a valid strategy. And I heard some of your arguments were, for example, that it would not pass anyway. I think the goal of Force the Vote was not really to get it passed. It's more like to get a feel of who is actually in favor of it and who is not, more than just what they're doing right now. For example,
Then why do proponents of Force the Vote keep acting like people who disagree with them are anti-healthcare?
What do you mean? You mean like how he accuses how Jimmy accuses AOC of being careerists?
Yeah, Jimmy Dore, Brianna Greyjoy, all these people have been accusing those who don't want to force the vote of being anti-healthcare. But if they acknowledge that there's no chance of actually getting Medicare for all passed through this effort, then opposing it is just a matter of tactical disagreement, not a matter of being opposed to or in favor of healthcare.
I think the reason is for that is that AOC and a bunch of others have promised to push on this, and it still has some benefit. Like
wait, they never promised to push on this.
I think AOC and the Democratic Socialists of America, they never promised to force the vote, but they did promise to try to get Medicare for all.
Yeah,
right?
but this won't get, you just acknowledged this won't get Medicare for all. So
no, but it still helps in the fight. So what it will do is it will get people on the record.
Yeah, but we're dealing with levels of abstraction now. So there are people saying that AOC is like anti-Medicare for all and she promised to do this, but she actually didn't promise to do this. She promised to push for Medicare for all, but this isn't even pushing for Medicare for all. This is just helping in the fight. But I don't even think it's helping in the fight. And even then, we're removed enough that she never promised to do anything like this.
All right, it's fair enough to say that she never promised to do this specific thing. It is true that she has done videos where she said she wanted to make politicians uncomfortable, and she has done videos where she kind of alluded to that this kind of strategy would be the right idea. So I would agree with you, actually, that I think that Jimmy is pushing and some of the others are pushing a bit too hard and blaming her a bit too much, and saying she's a fake and all that kind of thing. I'm more interested in discussing the part where she of why they are not, why you think this is not a valid strategy and why she's not pushing for this.
Yeah, I don't see what benefit it is. If you want to primary moderate Democrats, we already have hundreds of them in the House who we know don't support Medicare for all. Why waste time and political capital trying to find out who said they support Medicare for all is actually a traitor? What? It's just such a naive way of looking at politics. We can't primary everybody. Why would we try to split hairs amongst our most radical Democrats when we could instead focus our efforts on trying to move over the most conservative ones?
Well, a lot of them are high profile, like Kamala Harris, who has supported Bernie Sanders' bill on Medicare for all in the past. And I do think.
But Kamala Harris is going to be the vice president. Kamala Harris isn't in the House. This force the vote thing is only going to happen in the House.
No, that's fair enough. But that was just an example. But you may be right. I'm just. I guess I do get what you're coming from, and I'm trying to figure this out for myself still also a little bit. One of the other issues I kind of had was hang on, let me gather my thoughts for a second. Yeah, just the fact that they were not trying to get anything really for the Nancy Pelosi vote. What are your thoughts on
because
that? Because I do think
there's no alternative to Nancy Pelosi. Like, there's no viable alternative. I don't think that anybody did enough of a job laying the groundwork for there to be another House Majority Leader. There's not really a competitor. Like, Pelosi is like the only person who has sufficient backing to get the number of votes necessary to be it. So it was always going to be Pelosi. Forcing the vote over this just feels like a meaningless virtue signal. It's not a real threat.
So you think that that trying to get something done to try to push Pelosi to maybe do some more left-wing ideas, that was just, she would never have agreed to it anyway, and she would have just let it go to a revote, basically?
What's the point of putting Medicare for all to a vote if nobody's going to vote for it?
Well, even just an alternative, right? It's also kind of the point that they're not trying to push anything. So even if we let go of Medicare for all thing, there's no idea really being pushed, and there's nothing really being pushed by the.
There's Biden's expansion of the ACA. That's the current healthcare plan that's going to get pushed.
Mm-hmm. I mean, specifically for the Pelosi vote. So the vote to get Pelosi back in, they could have withheld their vote and extracted something from her. So I'm basically saying, okay, even if not a floor vote on Medicare for all, it just didn't feel like they were trying to get anything, basically.
Yeah, because there's nobody other than Pelosi who can take that seat, so there's no actual concession to be made. Also, they got reforms on committee. Didn't they actually focus on something else? Didn't they push for other reforms? Yeah, concessions for the vote leverage. Yeah, they actually did do work, but like,
they did?
Yeah, Medicare for all. You probably wouldn't know that if you only listened to Jimmy Dore, but yeah, they did. They just didn't go for Medicare for all because there was no point in it ever, like, there was no chance of it ever passing. You know?
All right, fair enough. Yeah. So I did. So I guess then I'll concede this on you. I mainly went in this as well just to talk to you and figure things out for myself, because I do listen a lot to Jimmy Dore and Kyle Kalinske, and I also listen to you, and I value your point. Clarification is nice. Yeah, I guess final thing is just on Jimmy Dore himself, I guess. Then, like, there are a few things in your video that I did not agree with.
Gotcha.
He is a grifter. I think one of the most painful points in Jimmy Dore to kind of conceive with you on is about Tulsi Gabbard, like the way he tried to push her healthcare plan as if it is like a single payer plan.
Mm-hmm.
And so I do feel like that's like the one point that I'm kind of like on, like maybe he is a bit of a grifter, but on the other points, like I think he gave Bernie a fair shake, for example. I think he distanced himself from Tulsi Gabbard after realizing that she was in fact a grifter. So I kind of feel.
When did he distance himself from Tulsi Gabbard?
So, first of
also,
all,
he called Bernie a sellout as soon as Bernie endorsed Biden. He didn't give Bernie a fair shake at all.
He did in 2016. He was pretty pro Bernie, and in 2020 he had disagreements with Bernie, definitely a lot on strategy.
Yeah, because Jimmy Dore's a fucking idiot who doesn't care about strategy. He only cares about grifting and virtue signaling to his populist audience. Like, of course he's going to disagree on strategy. Bernie actually cares about making the country a better place.
Well, yeah, but like Bernie, like the reason also why I am angry at Bernie still is because of the way he handled this, because he called Joe Biden his friend, because of all those kinds of things. It did cost him a lot. I wouldn't say like that's the only reason he lost. That would be naive and bullshit. But it is. Like I do understand Jimmy's point of view, and I do feel like
What point of view? That Bernie is a sellout for endorsing Biden?
Not really. I'm not sure if he really calls him a sellout. Like
he absolutely did.
He does get. Yeah, I cannot. I'm not even sure. He does call AOC and those people sellouts all the time, and I don't agree with that either. So,
yeah, why do you think he does that? And why do you think he keeps saying that AOC won't come on his show?
Oh, well, that part's probably because he's sore because she won't come on the show. So
yeah, do you think that's like a little weird that he like? Do you think it's weird that he pairs his criticism of politicians with their apparent unwillingness to go on a show?
I do think so. I also do think he is a bit arrogant. I did watch his argument with Sam Cedar and with a lot of people. And right now he's angry. He does a lot of videos also about TYT, and I do see that, and I do think that is an issue. And there's some. When I listen to his arguments, I do tend to agree with a lot of them on like certain subjects. Like for example, also on I think he grabbed me a little bit when he talked about the CARES Act and AOC and Bernie voting for that and not objecting.
But
and
AOC didn't vote for the CARES Act. He just lied when he said that.
I listened to the tapes on that as well, and you could clearly hear there was only one person who voted against it, and it was clearly a male voice. So it was a voice vote, and AOC, I could not hear it. So that's something that I heard, and I also looked it up in a video more neutral, not from Jimmy Dore, and I saw the same thing. So I do think that's actually happened.
What is your opposition to the CARES Act?
My opposition to the CARES Act is basically they gave up all their leverage then and there, and as soon as they wanted to,
who's they and what leverage?
Okay, so the Justice Democrats, people like AOC, the progressive wing of the party, kind of gave up their leverage when they voted on the CARES Act without getting any real good stimulus package then and there.
But but that wasn't their fault. They had already put out what was it called? The Freedom Act or whatever. The only the CARES Act was put through because it was the only thing they could get McConnell to actually put on the table.
Oh, I get that, and I know it's not their fault. Their fault, but what I do think is that they should have objected. They should have used the bully pulpit to tell everybody they're not getting anything from you, and instead they just voted along. They could have done a protest vote and voted against it. I guess
but then people wouldn't have gotten their stimulus.
They would, because it would still have passed, right?
Wait, so you want them to vote against something that they actually want and signal to the rest of America that
but they didn't want it.
That they don't care about stimulus? How would that make them more popular?
The CARES Act was like a huge transfer of power of wealth, right? Like probably the biggest transfer of power like the world has ever seen, or maybe
no, there have been tax cuts that did more. So wait, you realize that like Americans needed that money, right? Like if AOC, I'm sorry, AOC did vote in the CARES Act. I was thinking of something else. They did vote in the CARES Act. My apologies. Like AOC voting in the CARES Act, how would her principled opposition to the CARES Act have made the Democrats look better?
I would have made it would have made not specifically the Democrats, but the progressive wing, because they would have.
It would have just made them look like a bunch of blowhards who don't care about the average American.
I don't think so. I think it would have shown like they would have signaled to the people like, hey, you could get a lot more. They are selling you out, they are bullshitting you, and we want to get more done.
No, that's not how the average voter thinks. If the average voter is locked in their house, everybody's unemployed, people don't have enough money to pay their rent, and then they go online and they see all these news articles about how the Justice Dems were the only ones to not vote for stimulus to the people, they're not going to look into all of the like corporate bailout shit or all of the like legal loopholes behind it. All they know is that AOC and the squad didn't care enough about them to actually get them the money they needed. Like, this is such a meaningless strategic difference. It was going to be passed anyway. This is what Jimmy Dore does. Jimmy Dore contributes nothing to the political landscape, and then he has the gall to criticize people who actually do by taking meaningless differences over strategic issues that don't actually affect the real world, and then calling them sellouts because they disagree with him. Like, these are nothing issues. It was going to get passed either way, and I think it would have been pretty negative for the Justice Dems if they had opposed it.
Do you really think people were happy with the CARES Act? Because it was only like a $1,200 one.
Americans got those checks that were signed by Donald Trump, and yeah, they were pretty happy with those checks. Yeah, they liked it more than nothing.
Oh, more than nothing. Oh, that's for sure. Yes, I guess I myself am not American, so I guess maybe I'm a bit privileged from my position where I'm just like how does this even happen, like a one-time $1,200 payment? So maybe I guess from my perspective might be a little bit different than average American's perspective, where I just think like, how does anybody vote on this?
Because if they hadn't, nobody would have gotten any money.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, McConnell would not have let this through if it weren't for all the corporate concessions.
Yeah, fair enough. All right. Yeah.
Yeah, just like Jimmy never talks about this. Jimmy doesn't talk about Trump. Jimmy doesn't talk about McConnell. I don't think I've ever seen a Jimmy Dore video acknowledge the existence of McConnell or the influence that he has over what gets passed.
Yeah, so I have so on that I think when I look at Jimmy, and also when I look at people like Kyle Kulinski, for example, they tend to focus a lot more on the Democratic side of things, right? And I think one of the reasons for that is probably because they feel they are more involved in that, especially Jimmy. He feels kind of like sometimes a little bit. He just feels like Twitter obsessed. Like every single video, it's Twitter post, Twitter post, Twitter post. He is in that world, and he's also, what he's doing is kind of activistic, I think, right now. He is just he focuses on that, so he doesn't focus on the Republicans at all, I think. And I don't think that
he doesn't contribute anything good to the Democratic discourse. They're all just like really low IQ takes, like, let's backstab and let's shit talk the most progressive Democrats in office right now. Oh, but everyone ignore the fact that Tulsi Gabbard is Republican light and that I supported her the whole time. Didn't shit talk her when she disavowed Medicare for all. Didn't shit talk her when she backed Biden. Oh, but I'm going to turn around and do the exact same thing to Bernie and AOC. And then I'm going to try to create a divide and then impugn AOC for not coming on my show. Claim I'm the one who made AOC by having her on like 3 years ago. Like, his only goal is to stir up controversy amongst like disillusioned left-leaning people so he can make money off of them. That's it. Like, that's the only consistent thread with all of his content. That's the only thing he seems to care about.
It could go on a lot of different kind of tangents here. Like, for example, Tulsi with Tulsi the Gabbard, I'm pretty sure he did push back on her with a lot of things on what was it again? I think it's something with veterans. He was critical of her in some ways. I think also with AOC, for example, a lot of the video he makes of this, he kind of shows like, hey, this is the kind of what I am doing is kind of the same strategy that AOC kind of wants me to employ, with like holding your politicians, like making them uncomfortable, and kind of focusing on the politicians that you care most about and holding them. And I think that's kind of like,
you should make politicians uncomfortable, like, for good reasons though, and usually when it like leads to good outcomes. Like, you can make a politician uncomfortable by like just harassing them and calling them a piece of shit over and over, but that's not politically expedient.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I do think like the attitude itself, that what he seems to, and at least he seems to me to call for, is healthy, even if
what does he do? Like, who does he hold to account? Like, what action does he push for?
Well, like he's trying to pressure right now, or he tried to pressure the Justice Democrats with the vote on Pelosi. That is an example. I disagree with it. You think it's yeah, okay, that's fine, but it's still, even if it is worthless, that still doesn't like prove he's a grifter. Right?
No, it does, because he's trying to make money off of it. He held a town hall for it, and then he had a rally for it, where one of the days of the rally took place after the vote. What exactly is the point of holding a rally on Force the Vote the day after the vote is held? Money,
I guess
clout.
Yeah.
He's been networking with other prominent dipshits that call themselves leftists, including people like Nico House, who works with neo-Nazis. He has been working with people like Brianna. He's been doing everything that he can to make this as big of an issue as possible, even though it means nothing. It's worthless. It doesn't affect anyone positively.
I mean, I have noticed that he makes like 10, 20 videos on the same subject as well, and that I also don't understand like that is yeah.
It's a grift. Like, this makes him money. You can take a look at his views. This is what like makes the most money. Covering the news in a fair and reasonable way doesn't get him anywhere near as much coverage or anywhere near as much clout as targeting AOC, one of the most progressive people in government, with a meaningless wedge issue that wouldn't even work in his favor, and then acting as though she's a traitor for doing it while making a lot of money in the meantime. This is inexcusable behavior to me. Like he's one of the people who hides behind the "I'm a comedian" thing whenever he's criticized at his political takes.
Oh yeah, I agree. I've never seen him. I don't think he's ever made a joke on his channel, or maybe he's like his phone.
No, he doesn't joke. He doesn't make jokes.
No, I totally agree with that one. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. All right, listen, I'm sorry. I love you. I have to probably read donuts or talk about gay people or something. I love you very much. Do you have a final meme you want to share?
A meme? Gosh, not really.
Final anything. It doesn't have to be a meme.
No, I guess. Hi, Mom. Thanks for having me, Vosh. I don't know.
No problem. I love you, and I'm happy to have you here.
You too. All right. Looking forward to the rest of the stream. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, that was fine. Sorry. I came in there too hard. Okay. All right, we're unnuking the board and boredom. Okay, listen, I love you guys. But you realize, like, if you're typing "I'm bored" during a live stream chat, you can go fuck yourself, right? Holy shit, you're so fucking annoying. Like, just leave. Like, yeah, nobody's forcing you to watch. All right. Fuck. We did more shit to talk. Armed protests being planned at all 50 state capitals, FBI bulletin says. Can I put off covering this? It's going to be on the 20th, right? Intending to travel on the 16th. Okay, that's a little dated. We have a PragerU video. What I can teach you about racism, from renowned political science professor Carol Swain. Oh, so this is just going to be a survivorship bias. Started out life with every possible disadvantage. She ended up teaching at two of the most prestigious universities in the country. How did she do it? She did it by not having a victim complex. She did it by not giving in to people when they said that because you're black, you don't have to try. She did. I bet at one point somebody offered her a fucking affirmative action thing, and she was like, no, I will not, because I am equal. And with America, bootstraps. And then she bootstrapped her way to success, and we're going to ignore the fact that all of her fucking family members when she grew up are still poor, and all the friends that she grew up with are still poor because the odds were against her, and the fact that the odds are against her means there's a problem to be solved. Yeah, okay. I watched the video and you're 100% right. Yeah, okay, of course. Yeah, there's no point in watching this. Fucking like 20%. Basically all conservative content made by black people is some flavor of survivorship bias, like always. They don't bring on fucking poor black people. It's always the ones who have made it. But survivorship bias really does fuck with people's brains, you know? It really does fuck with people's brains. People aren't capable of understanding, like, probability and statistics. Our brains just aren't designed to do it. You have to actively make an effort. We don't have an intuitive understanding of... Chad Wolf is stepping down? Damn, with a name like that? Fuck. Yeah. What is survivorship bias? Survivorship bias is when you beat the odds And because you beat the odds, you feel like everyone can beat the odds. So if you're like a really poor kid and you work really hard and you like graduate and you end up really wealthy, and then you're like, I made it, everyone else could. That's survivorship bias. The reality of statistics is that even in the most unlikely situations, some people will succeed. That doesn't mean that they weren't fucked to begin with. You know what I mean? Like, it's basically just like statistical ignorance. Yeah, it's super fucking obnoxious. You have to understand that, like, in a capitalist system, anyone hypothetically can succeed, but not everyone can. In fact, very few people can, you know? People talk like everyone can be this big millionaire business owner, and it is the case that almost anyone, if they were extremely intelligent or lucky or they have the right number of connections or whatever, could possibly end up a very wealthy business owner, but not everyone can. Not this argument again. I mean, that's life. That's true. Do you think the Capitol Police Guard was justified in shooting the woman to try to climb through the door? I actually haven't seen the video. I don't know the context. I would say, generally speaking, here's my opinion, okay? If somebody breaks into my house, their life is forfeit. If somebody breaks into the Capitol building and there are guards pointing guns at you, yeah, you fuck around, you find out. I don't know the specifics there, but that's my general feeling. I would need to see the video. Now, if there's an instance where, like, she's just standing there and she's not, like, posing a threat or posturing and then she gets shot, that seems really unnecessary to me. I don't know. I'd have to see it. It could be the case that it was not a justified shooting. Vosh is literally destiny. Guys, holy shit. If somebody breaks into your house, you have a right to defend yourself. That's not you defending your property. It's you defending yourself, okay? I hope you know that. That's not a destiny take. That's law. That's how it works, okay? She was shot entering an internal window with gun trains in her, told not to enter. Okay, I don't know how favorable I'd be to that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that one. Check out this video. I can go right now. Is that why conservatives keep bringing up black billionaires? Yes, that is the reason why. Can you address this pick? I think it's in regards to survivorship bias. Oh, kind of. Yeah, a little bit. Oh, yeah, guys, I just want you guys to know. I do hope you all know, like, if your house being broken into, you can defend yourself, okay? I hope you guys know that. That's not property defense. It was a meme? Okay, I don't know. Not if you're Australian. Well, if you're in the good old United States of America. We defend people here, not property. If someone's breaking into your house, you're defending yourself, okay? It's not a property issue. It's, guys, oh, God. Oh. Okay. Okay. So just so you guys know, okay? I know a lot of you are 16 years old, so all this feels really abstract. But if you're a family, if you're a father or a mother, you have kids sleeping in your house, and you hear banging going on downstairs, and you go downstairs, and there's somebody, and all you see them is silhouetted against the light outside. They just broke in through your fucking window. Okay, you can do what you need to do to protect your fucking family. Okay, are you guys fucking kidding me? Are you like joking right now? Yeah, you want to lead the revolution to secure fucking property for all, but you're not willing to defend your own house? Jesus. This is objectively bad policy? No, it's not. Oh, no. Are there libs in chat? Even a liberal should agree with this point. If you return home and see somebody inside your house through the window, is it ethical to kill them? No. Okay. Well, unless they do something. Hold on. At that point, you should call the police. But, okay, let me give you guys an example. Please, 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 sit with me here, okay? Please, 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 please. Okay, please. I want you guys to understand this, okay? So, first of all, I hope everybody here doesn't believe in the myth of shooting to disarm or shooting to impair, okay? When you have a firearm in your hand and you point it at a person, there's only one type of shooting. You shoot to kill. You know how you hear in movies and video games, shoot to kill? That doesn't mean anything. That's the only type of shooting. Nobody shoots for the legs. Nobody shoots for the arms. That's why everybody made fun of Biden when he said that cops should shoot at the legs, okay? That's very stupid, all right? The only time you shoot is to shoot to kill. That's it. Warning shot? No. Okay, if you want a warning shot, have fun. But the reality is, if your house is broken into at night, there is a very decent likelihood that the person who's breaking in has a weapon. Generally, when people are making unarmed raids, they do it after casing a house and making sure that nobody's home. Generally speaking, burglars don't want to encounter people, okay? If you're encountering a person during a burglary, the likelihood of one or more people dying goes through the fucking roof. Most people want to go and rob or burgle houses that are empty. If they're breaking into a house when there are people there, as is the case during the night, because you sleep in your house usually, they're in all likelihood either prepared to or going to kill, or if they need to, defend themselves to kill, okay? You don't know if they have a weapon. It's dark. In this situation, you absolutely have a right to defend yourself with lethal force. I was talking about military rules of engagement. Yeah, well, military rules of engagement obviously differ because in addition to people there having military training, usually the theater of battle is more established beforehand. Like, when you're a soldier, you have your gun, you know you're in a conflict, you know what's happening. If you're in a house, like, you don't expect to be fucking attacked or robbed or anything. I hope not, at least. Yeah, nobody uses military rules of engagement at home. I'm an operative. I thought this was pretty simple. How do people disagree with this? So, from my opinion, if you break into a person's house, like at night when there are people there, your life is forfeit until you're in a position where there's no longer a threat you're posing to that family. I think that's like a really, really simple rule, okay? If you don't want your life to be forfeit, don't break into the house. It's really, really simple. Just that's the rule, you know? I think that's perfectly reasonable. Houses should be little castles, you know? You should be able to feel safe in your house. If people break in, you don't want to have to, like, be like, sir, do you intend to inflict lethal harm on my family? And by the time you finish the sentence, they've already stabbed or shot you. You don't want to be in that position, okay? Just, it's that simple, all right? No, I know nobody. It's fine. Yeah, if you break into an occupied home, you're signaling a threat. Pretty, like, obviously, you know? Yeah, I saw the manatee thing. Don't you think most burglars would run away from a warning shot? A burglar is somebody who robs a home when it's empty. A robber robs a person or an occupied home. If there's a burglar, like they think the house is empty, they may run from a warning shot. Do you want to take that risk? Like, first of all, warning shots are not safe. You're in a residential, okay? Warning shots aren't safe. You want to be in like an apartment of like 20 people? Like, where are you warning shotting? Where's the warning shot, you know? Do you want to take that risk, though? While you're firing a warning shot, they could be lifting their gun. Do you seriously not agree with duty to retreat laws? You're in your house. You're in your house. Retreat from your house? You have to get your family? Like, you hear someone breaking in downstairs, you're like, you like run up, like, okay, kids, we need to go. Okay, there's somebody in the house. Dad, don't you have a 9mm? No, we have to go. We have to jump through the window. Go. You fucking wife, come here. You fucking throw them out the window into the like bushes outside. We got to make it to the police station. Like, no. Yeah, I would say the person with the duty to retreat is the intruder. That would be my argument there. I'm asking, not arguing. Okay, well, that's just my argument. Vosh, most robbers are desperate and stupid. They won't risk your life just to rob your house. From personal experience, waving gun from them and stuff. Dude, that's cool. Most people aren't willing to risk their lives on them drawing when they've already broken into your house. If they don't want to die, maybe they should stay out of your house. Like, personally, if my house was invaded, the first thing I would do is drop into a roll and slide down the stairs on my left shoulder, waving my gun in front of them. I would tactically fire 2 shots directly to the left and right of their head. If they're wearing glasses, it would be enough to blow the frames off their glasses. They would know instantly my tactical prowess, and they would know that if I fired again, it would hit dead center between their eyes. Instantly, they would drop their own weapons and recognize that it wasn't worth it. No, like, home invasions are incredibly scary and incredibly frenetic and frantic, and all you can do, the least when it comes to legal rights, I think the least you can have is the comfort and the knowledge that if you have to defend yourself with lethal force, the state's not going to fucking arrest you. To me, the idea of like, your house gets broken into and you're like, you like run downstairs, there's a confrontation, and you shoot them or you bludgeon them with a baseball bat or something, and then like you get arrested and spend 20 years in jail for defending your house. That's pretty fucked up to me. You debate the robber and beat him in the marketplace of ideas. So Vosh, would it have been okay to you if everyone who'd invaded the Capitol building was shot and killed? I think, well, okay, so this gets, wait, that's not a home invasion. Wait, first of all, we're talking about your home. I think most people are making parallels from the Kyle Rittenhouse situation. Wait, you guys realize I'm talking about a home invasion, right? Not the middle of the street where you traveled from one town to another with a fucking rifle to go confront protesters. Not the Capitol building. I'm talking about your home. Where you live. I'm gonna kill myself. I don't think you should be arrested if you choose the fire even kill the robber, but I don't think that as people we have a moral responsibility to avoid killing people who can. If you don't want to kill a person breaking into your house, that's fine. If you want to take that risk, that's your right. I'm just saying don't arrest the guy who doesn't want to take that risk. What if you're homeless? Does that mean the street is your residence? I love you guys. I hope you know that. I hope you all know that. How much I love you, how significant the love is. Please watch leftist critique of Castle Doctrine. How can a leftist believe in the universal ownership of firearms to defend themselves against state oppression, but then think that it's too far to shoot a person who's robbing their fucking house? Leftist critique Castle. Re-examining Castle Doctrines. This is a reading. This is a little many pages. Yeah, can we not? Yeah. You guys really disagree with this? Wait, you guys know the difference between the Castle Doctrine and Stand Your Ground laws, right? Okay. No, they don't. Oh, I think they do. Oh, shit. Okay. So, okay, hold on. Okay, wait. Maybe this is just a misunderstanding. Okay. Okay. So let's explain the difference really quickly, okay? This is very important if you live in the United States of America, and extremely unimportant if you live anywhere else, but when have I ever given a fuck about you? Okay? Look, okay. Okay. This is the... Why is it at the bottom? This is the Castle Doctrine. The Castle Doctrine, also known as the Castle Law or the Defense of Habitation Law, is a legal doctrine that designates a person's abode or any legally occupied place, like a vehicle or a home, as a place in which that person has protections or immunities permitting one, in certain circumstances, to use force to defend oneself against an intruder, free from legal prosecution for the consequences of the force used. So it's commonly used in the United States, and then I think there's a map list of states that have and have it. Yeah, and here. And then dark green has stand your ground. Light green has stand your ground in practice, so that would be the West Coast as well. Blue has stand your ground from within one's own vehicle, but not their own house for some stupid fucking reason. Yellow is Castle Doctrine only, and duty to retreat in public, and red is just duty to retreat. So here's what this means, okay? So we're not going to talk about stand your ground right now, okay? We're just going to talk about Castle Doctrine. Castle Doctrine just means that if you live... if you're in your house or your vehicle and someone's fucking you up, that you don't have to retreat from that place. The duty to retreat is the legal belief that if you're threatened in such a position, you should skedaddle, okay? Could people literally just torture an intruder under this doctrine? No. No, it doesn't mean you can do anything you want. It doesn't mean you can commit crimes within your house. It means that... Okay, sorry. Okay, one last step. Final thing we're going to do. Okay. So there's something called the duty to retreat. The duty to retreat is the belief that if you find yourself under threat, you should flee the situation rather than defending yourself. So let me give you an example, okay? A duty to retreat is as such, okay? If I'm in public, okay? I'm in public, like I'm on a street in public, and somebody attacks me, like a homeless guy, a crazy homeless guy, whatever. A crazy homeless guy attacks me, okay? In a state which only has the duty to retreat, of which there were a few that we just looked at, it would be my responsibility to run because I have the ability to run. I can do that. I have the ability to run. I'm on the street, I can skedaddle. Now, things get more complicated if you're in a wheelchair or you're a broken leg or whatever, but like if you can run, you should, okay? That's the duty to retreat. A castle doctrine is a law which says that in your house and vehicle, usually house and vehicle, you no longer have a duty to retreat. It means that if you're in those places, those are your places. That's your safe zone. And if somebody's attacking you, you have a right to defend yourself and are insulated from legal consequences, which may arise from the force that you use to defend yourself. So if a person, like say you run to your car and then the homeless guy like starts stabbing at your window with a knife or something, you would have a right to kill that person because you ran. You ran to your safe zone. You are now in the bubble. You are now in the safety bubble. And they continue to pursue you to the safety bubble. Okay? That's the castle doctrine. What did the duty to retreat people think of Breonna Taylor? This has nothing to do. There is no universe where Breonna Taylor's death was justified. The stand your ground laws are laws which allow you to defend yourself even if you're not in a car or an abode. It means essentially that you are released from the duty to retreat. So you could be standing in the street and somebody could charge you and you could be concealed carrying and you could gun them down. And that would be stand your ground. Stand your ground laws seem to lead to an increase in death, which is why I don't defend them. There's variance. Sometimes it seems justifiable, but I think that generally speaking, you should probably avoid conflict when you can. I do believe that. There are exceptions to this, for example. You don't really have a duty to retreat, for example. If you're in school and there's a school shooter, you can kill that school shooter if you're a student. And even if that's not a castle doctrine state, you'll still be okay because there's not a reasonable expectation that you could escape that situation. In a stand your ground. Hello. I missed you guys. Oh, by the way, I'm not a lawyer. Please remember that any of the stupid ass shit that I say about castle doctrine and stand your ground states is not legal advice. Please do not interpret it as such ever under any circumstances. Yeah, did the website die? Oh wait, I think like I think everything crashed. Uh-oh. Wait, can you guys even see me? Yeah. I don't know. Okay. Wait, apparently I have to do something? 1 second.
Boss bad.